Good morning, now 9 o'clock, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. A man's been arrested after he allegedly chased a couple who had been walking through Bicentennial Capitol Mall State Park Saturday. Court documents say that at first, the 38-year-old Thomas Milam was playing guitar, but then things turned ugly.
And according to arrest documents, the woman had an interaction with the suspect who then began chasing her and her boyfriend. The male victim says Milan stated, quote, "You better run. I'm going to cut your throat." Now, he reports that Milan dragged the knife along a brick wall, causing it to spark.
That's News 2's Peyton Kennedy. Officers caught up with Milam, arrested him, his bond set at $85,000. A school bus driver injured yesterday morning after being struck by an elementary student. Channel 4's Lydia Fielder.
The school district told us a student from Waverly Belmont hit the driver this morning. The driver was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay.
The driver's injuries, of course, minor. No word on what led to that incident. Accused quadruple murderer Austin Drummond pleading not guilty to all charges yesterday in his first court appearance. Action News 5's Michaela Redmond said that his lawyers are angling to make some changes in this case as well.
Drummond's defense attorney Brian Huffman told Judge Mark Hayes they are planning to file a motion for a change of venue. Currently, the state and defense are working to come to an agreement about a protective order on the discovery of evidence, which was filed by the state. Judge Hayes said if the two sides can't come to an agreement, they will take up the issue at Drummond's next court date.
Drummond is accused of killing 4 members of his girlfriend's family. That next court date is set for March. ICE agents have arrested an illegal immigrant from Uzbekistan who was wanted in his own country for having ties to a terrorist group. Fox News' Madeline Rivera says Akror Bazorov was picked up earlier this month while driving an 18-wheeler in Kansas.
2023, he was arrested by Border Patrol and then released despite an arrest warrant issued for him in his native country of Uzbekistan. Authorities there had issued one for him in 2022, accusing him of being a member of a terrorist organization, calling for jihad online, and recruiting others to join the movement.
Bazarov was issued his CDL in Pennsylvania. He had been granted authorization to work in the U.S. in January of 24 by the Biden administration. So when does a travel stop become a must-see destination? When Dolly Parton is involved. Dolly's teaming up with Tennessean Travel Stops to rebrand and revitalize the flagship location in Cornersville, Marshall County. The Travel Stop says it will remain open during renovations. They're said to include curated dining and authentic regional retail shops. Little more than just filling up the tank there. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Rough day on Wall Street already. The Dow Jones Industrials down 572. NASDAQ falling 410. S&P 500 index is minus 84. That's the latest news, traffic, and weather. Next, I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Good morning. It is 9:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners. You get those over at betterwater.com. We got a busy day today, and I'll be honest with you. I was crapping Twinkies earlier when I thought that Twitter was going to be down.
Oh, yeah?
Well, we got a big day.
Yeah,
There's going to be a lot of news happening today. You got a jam-packed day with the president. There's going to be the arrival of the Saudi crown
Like
prince.
that.
The crowd. It's going to be it's a crowdy day at the White House. Jeez.
Getting crowdy with the sound.
So the Saudi crown prince, MBS, is coming by the White House. So I was like, I was already gearing up to be like, okay, I'm going to be grabbing clips and audio and video from that. And then if Twitter was down, like, what are we going to do? How do I have to rely on Pigeon? What do I have to rely on to receive this information? But that's back up. The president does have a busy day. The Saudi crown prince is going to be arriving at 11 Eastern, 10 a.m. our time, about an hour. He's going to greet him. They're going to have a bilateral meeting, bilateral lunch. And there's going to be a nice send-off. Then tonight, there's a big dinner. Big dinner. Invite only, apparently.
Ooh.
150 people.
Melania, Trump, the Crowdy Son Prince.
We're not calling this a state dinner, by the way.
It's not a state dinner.
It is not.
It's
a formal dinner, not a state dinner.
It should be in a beautiful ballroom if they could get their act together. So he's going to be coming by. Do you know who's invited to the dinner?
Who?
One, Elon Musk. Maybe you've heard of him.
Ew.
And then, did you say ew or oh?
I said, oh.
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 It felt like an ew, didn't it feel like an ew?
No, it was not. I like Elon.
Felt like an ew. We got Elon Musk coming. And then Cristiano Ronaldo has also been invited.
Soccer guy.
Soccer guy.
Yeah.
Football.
Football.
I think Chad knows more about him than I do.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
He's got you beat.
So I'm like, we got a busy day. We're gonna need our Twitter.
Please.
Luckily, the internet outage is it's done as of right now. It was a Cloudflare outage, major outage.
Yeah.
Not completely done. I noticed that Google Maps is not working.
Who uses Google Maps?
I do.
Do you really?
Yeah. Why? What else should you use?
I use Waze.
Waze.
That way I know where the 5-0's stationed.
Google Maps also includes Waze, so you get both.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that.
Having
It feels like Waze with extra steps.
I'll stick to my old ways.
Okay.
Get it? My old ways?
I get it.
Okay.
That's pretty good. I'm
surprised.
Give you a pass for now.
Surprised Jones not still on MapQuest.
On TomTom.
TomTom. All right, so Jones fact-checking me in real time. I thought it was done. But Breitbart has a story. Major outage affecting Cloudflare's global network led to widespread internet disruptions, impacting popular platforms like X, ChatGPT, and even Down Detector. The website where you would go to find out what websites aren't working was down. What do you do in that situation? I don't know. People are trying to figure out the internet outages. Cloudflare, the world's largest leading web infrastructure and security company, confirmed that it was experiencing a significant issue with its global network in the early hours of Tuesday morning. Widespread internet outage. Social media platforms like X, OpenAI's ChatGPT, and the outage monitoring site Down Detector, among many other sites and apps experiencing problems. Even some news sites, including Axios, appeared to be completely unreachable. As of the writing of this article from Breitbart, visitors are asked to unblock a Cloudflare address to proceed. According to Cloudflare's system status page, the company is investigating the issue, which caused the HTTP 500 errors that impact the Cloudflare dashboard and API. Those server-level errors indicate that the problem lies within Cloudflare's infrastructure rather than with individual website or servers. The company claims in one of its most recent updates that the issue has been identified and the fix is being implemented. As a result of the outage, X had been down, experiencing intermittent issues with availability being patchy for couple of hours. Cloudflare has been undergoing scheduled maintenance at 5 a.m. Eastern, according to the company's website. This indicates that the outage may be a result of a botched internal change as opposed to a cyber attack or other external issues. So looks like they shot themselves in their own foot. That's what I'm gathering. Or they're covering up something much more sinister. I don't know. It's probably just unplug it and plug it back in, see if that works. That would be my go-to. That's usually what I do. You unplug it, you wait, count to like 7, then you plug it back in, and you're usually good to go. That's what I would, if I was in the IT department, that would have been like, did you try that?
Did you turn it on and off again?
Did you at least try it?
Push the big button.
Do you ever talk to IT and it's like, have you tried praying? It's like, I have actually. I do that a lot. Yesterday, Donald Trump had the FIFA guys in office. Speaking of soccer players, Cristiano Ronaldo is going to be at the dinner tonight. He was at least invited. And then the FIFA guys, they're mulling about the White House. These FIFA guys. Not sure how I feel about it. Donald Trump did ask if they could give him more money for the World Cup yesterday, though, which I thought was fantastic. He said, "How much are you making? And what's the cut that I'm getting off of this World Cup?" Classic Trump yesterday in the White House.
It'll be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to showcase the greatness of America and world-class athletic competition as we celebrate our nation's 250th year. The World Cup will also be an incredibly significant economic opportunity for countless American workers and businesses. It's expected to drive more than $30 billion, Johnny. I don't know about that. That sounds like a lot of money.
No, that's true.
Are you sure?
100%.
How much does the country get out of that?
30 billion.
20%. So do we get like a percentage of the gross or anything?
That's for negotiation.
That's right.
I thought that was hilarious. Also, do Americans overly like soccer? Is anybody actually excited about this? I think that's a serious question that we need to ask. I'm not. You know who is? And you know who the administration's aware of likes soccer? Illegal aliens. Kristi Noem said, "Don't let me catch you being an illegal alien enjoying FIFA."
They know that they're welcome to the United States, that each of these events will be cooperative events with our cities to make sure that security needs are met. We put out over $600 million worth of grants to the 11 host cities that they'll have the advantage to partner on technologies and screening technologies, drone technology, counter UAS as well will be implemented. So we'll be prepared to host it safely, but also with Marco's leadership at the State Department, making sure that people that come in on these tourist visas are coming in thoroughly vetted, just like anyone who would travel here, and they would come and enjoy our country, and then they would go home and go home in a timely manner. So we're excited about that, and we're excited to partner with you, Mr. President, on creating memories for people around the world that will make them not just fall in love with the United States, but also fall in love with the sport of soccer.
We want you to fall in love with the United States, and then we would like you to leave in a timely manner. Please and thank you. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. One city that is in question when it comes to the World Cup is Seattle. I don't know if you know this, but they did just elect a communist mayor. And President Trump yesterday inside the White House said, "I don't know if we're going to do that in Seattle. If they can't guarantee safety and security, I don't know if we want to do it there." The FIFA president seems like he's open to the idea of moving it out of Seattle as well.
Problem in Seattle where you have a very, very liberal/communist mayor. I would say, it's certainly beyond just liberal. I watched her over the weekend. Wow, that's another beauty we got there. But if we think there's going to be a problem, Johnny, can I say we will move? I don't think you're going to have this problem, but we're going to move the event to some place where it's going to be appreciated and safe.
Yeah, well, I think safety and security is the #1 priority for a successful World Cup. We can see today that people have trust in the United States when we see at the ticket sales. We sold, record-breaking figures of tickets, almost 2 million already sold out of 2 million that we have been selling. This is because people, they know that they will be coming here and they will experience a safe and secure World Cup.
I would just say, Johnny, have you seen Seattle? Somebody take Johnny on a ride through of Seattle. I feel like he would change his tune instantly. He'd say, I don't know if this is the right place. No offense, to each their own, but the poop and the needles in the streets, just, I don't know. I don't know if that's right for the international FIFA audience that's coming to town. We'll see. Then President Trump yesterday started taking questions. Big topic today is going to be the Epstein files. He was asked a few questions about the Epstein files. Mike Johnson is expected to vote for the release of the Epstein files. Republicans are expected to vote for the release of the Epstein files. This came up with President Trump yesterday while they were discussing FIFA, and the president didn't hold back. He said, this is gonna backfire on the Democrats in an epic fashion. We're talking about Bill Clinton. We're talking about Reid Hoffman. We're talking about Larry Summers.
Here's what I want. We have nothing to do with Epstein. The Democrats do. All of his friends were Democrats. You look at this Reid Hoffman, you look at Larry Summers, Bill Clinton, they went to his island all the time, and many others. They're all Democrats. All I want for people to recognize the great job that I've done on pricing, on affordability, because we brought prices way down, but they're going way lower, on energy, on ending 8 wars and another one coming pretty soon, I believe. We've done a great job. And I hate to see that deflect from the great job we've done. So I'm all for it. You know, we've already given 50,000 pages. You do know that. Unfortunately, like with the Kennedy situation, with the Martin Luther King situation, not to put Jeffrey Epstein in the same category, but no matter what we give, it's never enough. You know.
He's right. And this is the year 2025. There's never going to be a consensus on the truth. They could unleash everything and people will say you're hiding things. One of the things that I like to look at is the reactions from a lot of individuals. You know, he mentioned Larry Summers there, and Harvard's Larry Summers is stepping back from public commitments after the fallout over the Jeffrey Epstein emails. Oh, that's weird. That's a bit strange. He says he's deeply, deeply ashamed. Deeply ashamed. You weren't ashamed doing business with a convicted pedophile when you were doing it. You're ashamed now that you're being caught. Got it. Ex-Treasury Secretary, Harvard professor Larry Summers announced yesterday he's going to take his step back from public commitments amid the fallout from the release of the emails between him and pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. The New York Post reports former Clinton and Obama administration official had exchanged emails and text messages with the disgraced financier well after his 2008 guilty plea in Florida for sex crimes and up until Epstein's July 2019 arrest on federal child sex trafficking charges. A trove of documents released by Republicans on the House Oversight Committee revealed last week. He said, "I'm deeply ashamed of my actions and recognize the pain they have caused." Right to jail. Can we just send him?
You right to jail.
Said, "I take full responsibility for my misguided decision to continue communicating with Epstein," he added. Summers explained that stepping away is one part of a broader effort to help rebuild trust and repair relationships with the people closest to me.
Right to jail.
That's right, Meghan and Peyton.
Gee whiz, guys, I sure am sorry that I was hanging out with that pedo. Can you please forgive me? At least he's making some comments and owning it, to be perfectly honest. Stacey Plaskett, the Democrat out of the Virgin Islands, she just releases a statement. She's like, "I talk with everybody, up to and including pedophiles that donate to my campaign." Like, it's just disgusting. Vile people. Stacey Plaskett was inside that congressional hearing in 2019. They were questioning Michael Cohen, and she's getting text message tips from Jeffrey Epstein. Again, I have a feeling that this is going to really hurt the Democrats. There might be some Republicans that are caught up in it. And you know what I say? Good. Anybody that was involved with this guy, up to and including the president, which I don't believe he was, but if new information becomes available, yes, throw the book at them. President Trump continued on Epstein.
With Kennedy, we gave everything, and it wasn't enough. With Martin Luther King, we gave everything, and it's never enough. We've already given, I believe the number is 50,000 pages. 50,000 pages. And it's just a Russia hoax as it pertains to the Republicans. Now, I believe that many of the people some of the people that we mentioned are being looked at very seriously for their relationship to Jeffrey Epstein, but they were with him all the time. I wasn't at all. And we'll see what happens. What I just don't want Epstein to do is detract from the great success of the Republican Party, including the fact that the Democrats are totally blamed for the shutdown. You know, they cost our country hundreds of billions of dollars with that, at a lot of inconvenience. So I'm for I don't. They can do whatever they want. We'll give them everything. Sure, I would. Let the Senate look at it. Let anybody look at it. But don't talk about it too much, because honestly, I don't want to take it away from us.
He's right, though. This has been used as a weapon against the Republicans, but it's been used as a shiny object distraction. We've all seen that happening in real time. The reason that this took a front seat was because the Democrats absolutely lost the shutdown fight. 43 days, and they agreed to the original deal, just costing the country billions of dollars in the process. No big deal. And you know what? Americans believe that the Republicans won that federal shutdown. New polling out shows that Republicans winning the shutdown battle by 33 points. Congressional Republicans gained plus 4 points in the 2026 ballot. This is according to the YouGov Economist poll. Brutal for Chuck Schumer. Brutal for Hakeem Jeffries. They want to keep talking about Epstein instead of talking about their own failures. They can't talk about their successes. Spoiler alert, they have none. So we'll talk about that a little bit more when we continue. President Trump saying he will sign this legislation to release the Epstein files if passed by Congress later on today. We're going to be keeping our eyes on that. We have Marjorie Taylor Greene and some Epstein victims. They've been making some statements ahead of the vote. We'll bring you that. Nancy Mace is weighing in and entering the chat. Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, they have comments about Epstein. They've kind of embarrassed themselves. Seriously. Running away from those questions. All of a sudden, it's like we're getting a little bit too close to the sun for the Democrats, and they don't really want to talk about Epstein anymore. Weird. We'll talk about it on the way. It's 9:23. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You need health insurance, but all the options you're seeing are ridiculously expensive. Hey, it's Chris Hand here for my friend Shane Ring over at Cover Nash. Shane can find you the perfect fit for your budget and your needs. And if you're tired of health insurance that feels like a math test, Shane's going to break it all down for you in a way that you can understand. He's going to make it simple. Cover Nash actually has a brand new nationwide PPO plan that will give you the freedom to pick your own doctor anywhere in the U.S. with no referrals and no red tape. How does just a $250 deductible sound? Pretty good, right? Flat $50 copays for any doctors, even specialists. Outpatient surgeries, $250 copay. Hospital stays, just $1,000 totals. And free preventative care, mammograms, colonoscopies, the works. And here's the kicker: no surprise bills, no hidden fees, just real protection from real providers. And if that plan isn't the perfect fit for you, Shane works with over 75 different companies. They can find something that will work for your needs and your budget. All you got to do, visit covernash.com or pick up the phone. Shane's probably at his desk right now. If I'm a betting man, he's sitting there waiting for your call. 615-465-0023. That's 615-465-0023. Or find him online, covernash.com.
So in Chicago, you had a massive ICE raid. They were pinned in by a bunch of locals and some gang members as well. ICE was. And these guys, these gang members, they had weapons, high-powered weapons. And these ICE agents, they were blocked in by hundreds of these locals. And there's a guy on the roof pointing something at them as well. And so ICE ended up, to get out of this, because they're calling for backup and the whole thing, they ended up releasing some tear gas, and everybody starts freaking out because there is in Chicago, this is so insane, a temporary restraining order that does not allow tear gas to be released unless the ICE agents face an imminent threat or they give 2 prior warnings. Now, first of all, I don't believe that ICE would use tear gas unless it was an imminent threat. But the point is that they're making it harder and harder for ICE to do their job. So, of course, Gregory Bavino, and if you don't know who Bavino is, he is the head of this particular mission, right, in Chicago. And he is being accused of violating the restraining order that does not allow ICE to use tear gas unless agents face an imminent threat or they're given 2 prior warnings. So he hauls in, I love this, Bovino hauls in the tape that if you're watching on YouTube TV, Super Talk TV, you can see they bring in drone footage. They bring in these people making threats against the ICE agents and so forth. And so I love that he does bring in the receipts. And you know what? If that's what these judges are going to do, And if that's what the liberals are going to do, and if that's what these illegal alien gang members are going to do when we come into, their neighborhoods to find the gangbanger illegal aliens, we are going to go even harder. You're going to mess with us? We're going to mess with you harder. I love, love, love that attitude from Bovino.
A judge temporarily blocks the National Guard in Memphis. We've got the story coming up here at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
The audience is divided again. I did it. I didn't mean to.
What'd you do?
I said nobody cares about the World Cup. So I have a lot of texts. Statman said, I love the World Cup. Of course, I'm a former football coach. That tracks. 2637 said, I love the World Cup just because you don't. Oh, all right. And then I got another one, 48.99. Soccer sucks. You couldn't pay me to go to a soccer game. I'm with you.
Would you rather watch soccer or golf?
Oh, soccer.
Yeah.
All day.
I think I would too.
Come on.
No, golf is so boring. Soccer over golf every time.
Yeah, at least I could see the ball in soccer.
100%.
Otherwise, I'm just watching grown man hit dirt with stick.
Yeah, nobody likes that.
That's not fun.
No, not fun at all.
Sexist much? Women play golf too.
Women play soccer too, Joan.
We're not watching that either, Joan. we're fair.
Point taken.
President Trump says he will sign the legislation to release the Epstein files should it pass. Mike Johnson's talking about this now. He calls the Epstein files release vote a political show vote. We'll bring you Mike Johnson's comments. We'll bring you President Trump's comments. Marjorie Taylor Greene weighing in earlier this morning as well. All that and more on the way. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. A judge temporarily blocking the deployment of National Guard troops in Memphis.
A Tennessee judge sided with a group of elected officials who sued over the deployment, concluding that Governor Bill Lee exceeded his constitutional authority when he sent 150 troops into Memphis. The judge temporarily blocked the troops from operating in the city, though she put a ruling on hold for 5 days to allow the government to appeal. The ruling adds to a series of legal victories limiting the use of troops in major U.S. cities. Peter Haralambous, ABC News.
A Nashville woman recovering from a gunshot wound from a stray bullet. She was shot in the arm Sunday after a man fired shots at a car driving along Sylvan Street. Neighbors there telling Channel 4 it's nothing new.
At this point, we're kind of used to it because this has been going on for years. And it sometimes it'll get better and then something like this will happen.
The alleged shooter has been arrested. Michael Johnson facing assault and weapons charges. And a man accused of following a woman to her Germantown apartment and then strangling her until she was unconscious has his first date in court today. Channel 4's Alexandria Adams.
A woman was walking home from a Sabrina Carpenter concert at Bridgestone Arena. Metro Police telling us that Jaquarius Williams followed her the entire way, grabbing her by the neck in an elevator and stated that he was going to kill her.
Williams facing a $10 million bond and charges of attempted homicide. He had been released on probation after an attempted rape conviction in 2019. We've got some thunderstorms headed our way for around dinner time. Stick around. Stefano has the latest coming up right after the news. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
You know what you really need for the holiday season? You need to get back to a pain-free life. The Wellness Institute of Nashville is here to help you with that. My name's Chris Hand. These guys have my seal of approval on this deal that could absolutely change your life. It's called the Big Daddy Trump Special. It's only going to cost you $12. It's going to land you a full exam, x-rays if needed, a well-explained diagnosis, and your first treatment. No matter what kind of pain you're dealing with, these guys can help you. Whether it's sciatica, numbness, bulging discs, neck pain, back pain, they'll treat it all with non-surgical spinal decompression, robot lasers, and even anti-gravity machines. Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Ashley are the best. What they're not going to offer you, surgery, painful injections, or opioids. It's time to grab your MRI, get ready to finally understand your condition, and fix it. Imagine walking through the holidays without feeling any pain. This is for you. 615-246-5009. That's 615-246-5009. Find them online, painisbad.com.
We've just reached the 2-year mark of the Freddie O'Connell tenure as mayor of the city of Nashville, and one asks oneself, what has he done for this city? Now, look, I've had Freddie on this show, and do I need to tell you yet again that he seems like a nice enough guy? Do I need to? Oh, he seems like a nice enough guy. I'd like to sit down and have a beer with him. You know, my grandma seems like a nice enough lady, but she's dead. I don't want her to be the mayor of Nashville. Just because they're nice people doesn't mean that they're good leaders. Now, Freddie is set to be on this radio show in 3 weeks. November 7th, we have him slated, I think, in the 3 o'clock hour. I was talking to his guy, Alex Apple, about that just several days ago. And we will present all of this to him. Tell me what your accomplishments are as mayor of this city, besides raising taxes, because you've done that twice. Twice.
For any, I don't, they can do whatever they want. We'll give them everything. Sure, I would. Let the Senate look at it. Let anybody look at it. But don't talk about it too much, because honestly, I don't want to take it away from us. It's really a Democrat problem. The Democrats were Epstein's friends, all of them. And it's a hoax. The whole thing is a hoax. And I don't want to take it away from really the greatness of what the Republican Party has accomplished over the last period of time.
That was President Trump yesterday inside the Oval Office. It's 9:37, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. The president saying basically what we said yesterday. The wall-to-wall coverage is synthetic. It's manufactured. It's being used to distract. We understand who's involved in the Epstein stuff, and there might be some conservatives caught up in it, and if they are, I say throw the book at them. To the Democrats that are caught up in it, I say throw the book at him. If the president ends up being caught up in it, I say throw the book at him. I don't think he's going to be caught up in it, though. We all understand that if the Democrats had any dirt on Trump, they would have used it years ago. You know, when they were trying to put him in jail for over 100 years, right? Yeah, they would have used it. We all know that. We all know that. Mike Johnson was talking about this morning. He's still talking right now, actually. Press conference is going on CNN. But he did say just a little while ago that the Epstein file vote is a political show vote.
Objectives. But with so many pressing issues on our plate, just very frustratingly to us, the Democrats are delaying that work even further with a political show vote. They're forcing a political show vote on the Epstein file. So we're just going to address that right at the top here this morning because they've spent so much time, the Democrats have, spinning the facts and trying to confuse the people that I wanted to come in this morning and just clearly explain for the people back home how we got here and why this vote is happening right now.
I mean, we know why we got here, how we got here, and we understand that a lot of the issue that we have is because of messaging from the president and conservatives. They weren't clear when he started labeling it a hoax. There was very confusing language. It made people very upset, and I understand that. I want the files just as much as you do. I want anybody that was involved with Epstein to be held accountable just as much as you do. That being said, what are we doing in the meantime? Wall-to-wall coverage on CNN, synthetic outrage. It doesn't help anything. It doesn't change anything. They're using it as a weapon against conservatives and against the president. And I think that's bovine scatology. And it's not just the Democrats that are doing it. There are Republicans doing it as well. Marjorie Taylor Greene is out there, chief among them. You know it's bad when the New York Times is heaping praise on Marjorie Taylor Greene. Listen to this. This is a New York Times writer yesterday on CNN just saying Marjorie Taylor Greene, she is just unbelievable.
Tyler? Yeah, remarkable interview and just a sea change from what we've seen. In some ways, some of the rhetoric she was saying sounded like Joe Biden of there's more that unites us than divides us. That is not the sort of rhetoric we are used to hearing from President Trump and the MAGA base.
I don't know if sounding like Joe Biden is the compliment that he thinks it is, but here we are. Stunning and brave, the New York Times writer says about Marjorie Taylor. Stunning and brave. Stunning and brave. Marjorie Taylor Greene was out there this morning. And I don't hate Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm not upset with Marjorie Taylor Greene. I just think it's a little bit extra what she's doing. I think while she's out there and she's saying that she's doing all of this for the Epstein victims, there's a piece of me that thinks that she's really doing this for Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's my issue. She was speaking earlier this morning outside the Capitol with Epstein victims. This is a bit of what Marjorie Taylor Greene had to say.
That's what we did by fighting so hard against the most powerful people in the world, even the President of the United States, in order to make this vote happen today. I was called a traitor by a man that I fought for 6 years for. And I gave him my loyalty for free. I won my first election without his endorsement, beating 8 men in a primary. And I've never owed him anything but I fought for him for the policies and for America first.
Again, Marjorie, I think that this is more about you than it is about the president. I think you're still salty that he said you probably won't win the senator race in Georgia. You probably won't win the governorship in Georgia. And you took that personal. And she's been against the president over and over again since he started this second term. I mean, is it just me? Or when you hear Marjorie Taylor Greene talking here, do you need a little bit of sad violin? It sounds like we need sad violin, Mason. Can you cue up a sad violin for me?
The most powerful people in the world, even the President of the United States, in order to make this vote happen today. I was called a traitor by a man that I fought for 6 years for. And I gave him my loyalty for free. I won my first election without his endorsement, beating 8 men in a primary. And I've never owed him anything, but I fought for him for the policies and for America first.
Again, I mean, you can cut the sad vibe. Thank you. It fit. I just listened to Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I hear her talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's standing in front of a group of Epstein victims, and she said, "Oh, the president called me a traitor." Do you know what actual pain, heartache, hurt looks like? It's the women behind you being called a name on the internet because the president told you that you couldn't win a Senate race, because the president told you that you couldn't win the governorship of Georgia. That's not real pain. That's not real hurt. That's reality. And I think that that's what we're seeing out of Marjorie Taylor Greene. I hope she comes back into the fold, and I hope that she kind of realigns herself with conservatives. There are conservatives that are speaking out against this stuff too. You know, like there are other conservatives and Republicans out there that want these files released, but aren't going full MTG and just bashing the president along the way. Tim Burchett wants the files released. How often have we heard Tim Burchett talking about it? Have you heard Donald Trump call him a traitor? No, because Tim isn't worried about Tim in this situation. Nancy Mace, another rep out there. She was on CNN last night, and she wants the Epstein files released, but Nancy's doing it in a way where she called out a CNN host last night for making the Epstein files about Trump instead of about the victims. So this is what the Democrats are doing. This is the hoax. They're making it about Donald J. Trump and not about the victims of Epstein and the victims of these wealthy elite. This is the hoax. Making Trump the bad guy. Nancy Mace last night on CNN.
This is going to be historic. And the thing that I'm really frustrated with the media right now is that they want to focus on President Trump. And they're not telling the stories of these women who risked it all, their careers, their livelihood, their futures, to come forward, the courage that it took. Those are the stories we should be telling right now, not the clickbait of what Trump said or he said, she said. I want to hear their stories, because getting this kind of justice, getting this kind of thing, this evidence to come out, voting on it, it's never happened before. And I have to tell you, I'm in my own fight right now.
I am proud that on this program we've had every victim of Jeffrey Epstein that was willing to speak. But the President of the United States did say over the weekend that only a very bad or stupid Republican would fall into the trap of voting for the release of the files.
And he's come around, and that's a good thing.
That he did not want these files to come out.
But Trump has come around, and Biden never came around. Biden never gave these women a chance, and that's the story you all aren't telling. When I went through my
they had
trauma
an investigation
2 years ago,
into Ghislaine Maxwell, which resulted in her being put in prison, and then she was moved to a minimum security prison in a residential neighborhood after meeting with Todd Blanche.
I want Maxwell in front of the oversight committee. I want to take her on. I want all the facts. I want to have my time with her to get to the bottom of this.
So again, you do have conservatives out there that want the Epstein files out. Donald Trump isn't going on a warpath against Nancy Mace. He's never gone on a warpath against Tim Burchett. Hell, I mean, for all intents and purposes, he's basically left Thomas Massie alone throughout all of this. I mean, other than the general jabs that gets thrown in Thomas Massie's direction. But Nancy Mace brings up a good point there. Where was this energy during the 4 years under the Biden administration? And I think that's the question that we need to be asking to everybody. CNN, the Democrat mainstream media, the propaganda arm of the Democrat Party, to these Democrat politicians. Somebody asked Chuck Schumer that yesterday. There was a reporter, Chuck Schumer was doing a press conference, and a reporter says, excuse me, sir, why is it that they weren't released in the past 4 years under Joe Biden. And this is a $1 million question. Chuck Schumer gets asked it, and what do you think Chuck says? He gives you a variation of Orange Man bad. Spoiler alert.
Okay. Senator, on that note, just I guess a question that's out there. Why wouldn't they have been released the last 4 years when President Biden was in office?
Well, that's the question every American is asking. Or not every American, but so many Americans are asking. What the hell is he hiding? Why doesn't he want them released? When you don't want something like this released, when even a whole lot of Republicans are calling for the release, his own party members, people ask the question, what's he hiding? It's got to be answered by releasing the files.
Can Chuck hear? He can hear, right? I think he can hear. He just ignores the question completely, avoids it at all costs, and blames it on Trump. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Hey, see, you know what? It's going to work with his base. It absolutely will. Does Chuck have a base anymore? Or are they fleeing? It's also a good question. It's just something to pontificate on, if you will. Mike Johnson brought this up during his press conference. He said, guys, Democrats had the Epstein files under lock and key for 4 years during the Biden administration, and not the same energy.
But the truth is, the biggest proponents of this discharge petition were never actually interested in transparency or ensuring justice or protecting victims of this unspeakable tragedy, the Epstein evils. And how do we know that? Because the Democrats had every one of the Epstein files in their possession for the 4 long years of the Biden administration. The Biden Department of Justice had the files the entire time. And not a single one of the people who are so loud and animated right now, they never said anything about it for all those 4 years. None of them held press conferences. None of them demanded the release of the documents. And under Biden's DOJ, when they prosecuted just Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, not a single one of these Democrats or any of the proponents of the discharge ever made any noise about that at all.
Can we fact check that? Oh, weird. That was quick. Fact check true. Weird. Where was the energy? Hakeem Jeffries was asked about the Epstein files yesterday as well. And Hakeem is he's not as smooth, I would say, as Chuck Schumer, who just blank stares and ignores the question. See, Hakeem Jeffries, there's a lot of questions about Hakeem Jeffries. Brooklyn's Barack is how he was referred to in emails to Epstein when they were asking Jeffrey Epstein to get behind the young Democrat and support him. Now he doesn't. Now that those emails are out, he doesn't really want to talk about Epstein at all. This was Hakeem Jeffries, Timo Obama, for those of you keeping score at home. Chuck E. Cheese Obama. Yesterday.
Why should Americans trust you and House Democrats on the Jeffrey Epstein files when one of your own, Congresswoman Plaskett, was found to be texting with Jeffrey Epstein during a hearing, getting information from him, using that in her questioning during a congressional hearing, and at one point he tells her, good job.
I mean, listen, good question, but I would have leaned more into, hey, why was it that Democrat strategy groups were reaching out to Jeffrey Epstein, asking him to get behind you? Brooklyn's Barack is what they called him in the emails. Brooklyn's Barack. That's where I would have gone with the question. Still a good question. Stacey Plaskett, the Democrat out of the U.S. Virgin Islands, who was texting with Jeffrey Epstein during that 2019 congressional hearing with Michael Cohen. This is a big story that the Democrats don't want to talk about at all, but we should be talking about it. Hakeem, what say you?
This is a bipartisan effort to make sure that, consistent with what the survivors have requested, that there's full and complete transparency, and every single predator who may be in those Justice Department files doesn't escape accountability.
Hefty finger wagging during the answer from Timo Obama. Very little substance. A lot more finger wagging than we got substance out of the answer. Weird. The questions on Stacey Plaskett are numerous. Scott Jennings was talking about this last night. He was discussing with Anna Navarro. She's the conservative one from The View. I know. Last night, this is on Abby Phillips' show. They were talking about Stacey Plaskett.
having email exchanges does not mean that they did something
like
criminal.
Larry Summers.
Okay, but I do.
Or Stacey Plaskett.
Yes.
The fact that they're having exchanges
exactly.
with Epstein.
That may not be
interesting.
criminal. I do think it is wrong. I mean, people like Deepak Chopra.
Does that
he was
I agree.
the most disgusting human being.
Does your concern apply to Stacey Plaskett?
Absolutely. It applies. Did you just hear me?
Across the board.
Did you just hear me say?
You think she should resign? Should she resign?
There you go again, trying to make this into a Democrat.
I think it's very.
She was being programmed by him after the moment you said we all knew.
It's very hypocritical for you to call out the names of only the Democrats, but not apply the very same logic to everyone.
What Republican was he programming?
Listen, hold on.
Scott, enough with the facts, okay? What I want to do is levy insults at you, call you a hypocrite, and then let's just drop it, Scott. Please, can we drop it? What conservative was Jeffrey Epstein texting during congressional hearings? Turns out it was just a Democrat. She should resign in disgrace. She's a trash person. 100%. They would say, Scott, come on, Scott, come on.
You're basically saying if you're named in these documents, I guess you're saying that they should be condemned. Anna is basically saying, let it all out. But you're the only one who's making a carve out for one person, and that's Donald Trump.
There's no evidence that he had any contact with Epstein after he excommunicated him, but we do have evidence that he was programming Democrat members of Congress. Why isn't that a big deal to you guys?
Scott, it's not a bad deal. It's not a big deal because it doesn't paint Republicans in a bad light, Scott. Quit being such a hypocrite. It's 9:53. Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hit like and subscribe, by the way. Hey, it's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Glock store. If you love freedom, you love the Second Amendment, you love a good deal, listen up. This Black Friday blowout is going to be wild. It's not just a Black Friday sale. It's a freedom party. We're gonna drop the big box store chaos. Nobody's gonna be dealing with that. We're gonna go to the Glock store. This is where real Americans are gonna be shopping on Black Friday. They're gonna blow the doors off of every sale that you've ever seen at the Glock store. Massive discounts on everything, up to and including really fancy Glocks. Plus, there's going to be some giveaways, it's going to be food trucks, it's going to be some live music, it's going to be a freedom party, and you're going to brag about being at it later. And if you know the Glock store, you know they don't mess around. If you've ever been to any of their events, you know that they know how to throw a good party. And I'm told that this Black Friday blowout is going to make the last few parties that they had seem small by comparison, so skip them all. Celebrate your right to bear arms at the one, the only Glock store. Minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, especially on Black Friday. It's 9:59, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We are less than a week away from our More Than a Meal Radiothon benefiting the Nashville Rescue Mission. We are so excited to once again be partnering with this great organization and partnering with you guys, the community, to make sure that this keeps going. You can find out more information at 997WTN.com or NashvilleRescueMission.org. So excited. That's happening on Monday, November 24th, Monday before Thanksgiving. It's going to be a blast. It always is. It's so great to hear these messages of hope and revival and all of that right before you get to Thanksgiving. It really makes you appreciate what you have. So shout out to the Nashville Rescue Mission. Looking forward to that. On the way, we got my friends Bo and Gabe in here. Bo Diddle, Gabe Victel. They've been running around, going to all sorts of different protests. We talk to these guys from time to time. They spent the summer traveling around to Pride festivals, and they've upped the ante a bit now, and they've been confronting Antifa wherever they go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a good conversation. We're going to talk with Bo and Gabe when we get back. It's 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning now, 10 o'clock. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. We've got some late afternoon thunderstorms headed our way, but a low chance of severe weather. So keep it here for the latest right after the news. President Trump welcomes the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia to the White House today. ABC's Mary Bruce.
President Trump welcoming Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to Washington for the first time in 7 years.
Well, we have the king coming.
The White House pulling out all the stops. Saudi flags draping Pennsylvania Avenue, even though this isn't an official state visit.
The visit comes after the U.S. announced it'll sell F-35 fighter jets to Saudi Arabia. CBS News saying that President Trump and the Crown Prince, will make announcements regarding Saudi investment in U.S. AI infrastructure and how Saudi Arabia plans to roll out its $600 billion investment pledge that was made back in May. As the House takes a vote on releasing the full FBI files related to Jeffrey Epstein today, there's news that former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers will, quote, step back from public commitments. Summers is also the president emeritus and professor at Harvard University. Now, this comes after documents released by the House Oversight Committee showed email exchanges between Summers and Jeffrey Epstein. In one of them, Summers appears to be seeking advice on a relationship with a woman. Summers saying he is, quote, deeply ashamed of his actions and recognizes the pain they have caused. Despite his vow to step back, he will continue teaching at Harvard, he says. The nation's airports just getting back to normal after the shutdown. Now, Allegiant Air pilots are picketing across the country, including here at BNA, saying they want more money. News 2's Jaxie Pigeon.
Coming together to call for a fair contract. The Allegiant pilots say the company continues to ask for concessions while investing in everything except for their dedicated pilots. The company, on the other hand, tells us they've offered a competitive package, including an immediate 50% average increase in hourly wages and a 50% increase in direct contribution to pilots' retirement benefits, improvements in long-term disability benefits, and extensive scheduling and quality of life improvement.
Now, according to Allegiant, the picketing is not anticipated to result in a work stoppage or a disruption in services. Putnam County officials searching right now for a man whom they consider armed and dangerous. 40-year-old Derek Brown was allegedly involved in an early morning shooting at the Waffle House in Cookeville. Cookeville police are saying there are active warrants out for this man's arrest on unrelated crimes. Cookeville police also advising the public not to approach Brown if they see him. That is the latest news. We've got your weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
but a lot of these protesters are paid. There's a story, Crowds on Demand CEO, 400% increase, surge for requests for paid protesters.
Yep. Protester requests have increased 400% since President Trump announced the federal takeover of D.C.'s police department.
No, none of this. I mean, we've seen this time and time again, where they've got all of these different protests and goes on. I swear it feels like it's every couple of weeks they've got another protest going on.
It is time to unite, not to fight each other the way they want us to do.
And they keep offering, looking for people to protest. And I don't think there's this groundswell of anger that they're trying to convince the American people that there is.
It's 10:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Got a couple of my buddies in studio. Bo and Gabe are in here. Bo Diddle TV. Gabe Victal. What's up, guys?
It's going great.
You guys have been gallivanting all around the country.
Gallivanting.
As always.
I like that.
That's it was on my word of the day calendar. So I'll have a new one tomorrow.
Okay. Well, yes, we have been gallivanting. Quite a bit of different places.
This past weekend we were in Seattle, Washington for the first time ever. We were in Portland, Oregon for the first time ever, and then today we're here.
Okay, so talk to me about Seattle, because I played a clip earlier. Trump had the FIFA guys in studio yesterday. In the Oval Office.
I knew what you meant.
They were in the podcast studio at the White House. So he had the FIFA guys in, and he's standing next to the big FIFA guy, and he's like, Johnny, I don't know about Seattle. He's like, it's a mess. If it was your call, would you hold the World Cup in Seattle, or would you move it elsewhere after being there?
Absolutely not. So Seattle has a lot of. He's just going to talk if I don't talk over him. Seattle has a lot of natural beauty. It was nature-wise, it was pretty, but you can just tell the liberal effect. It was just a disgusting city. All over, there was the homeless. You see it on the news, and you want to see for yourself, is that true? Definitely true. Drugs. I walked past someone who was shooting up while I was going to the 7-Eleven to get a charger. So it was 100% what you see on the news is what Seattle was like. The taxes there were insane. Our total for a meal was $48, and then after taxes, it came out to $64. After
what?
After
like
service,
15% service taxes,
state,
food tax.
local, all of the taxes. It was insane. So I was not a fan of Seattle at all. Seeing a transgender person became normal.
Seeing a normal person was out of the ordinary.
Yeah, we saw people in suits, and we were like, hey, they look normal. It got to the point where we were looking for people that looked normal.
So it's like Bizarro Nashville, a
Yeah.
little bit.
Oh,
or
it was
Bizarro Tennessee.
Way worse than
It
Nashville.
was worse. Now, my argument would be hold the World Cup there so they clean up the streets. We're going to have people from all around the world wanting to come here and watch the games. You also have the American audience wanting to maybe watch soccer for the first time in their lives or something. It's pretty historic, right? The last time the World Cup was in America was 2002, if I'm not mistaken. Brazil won, by the way. And I think that, if we host it in these big liberal cities, Trump has an excuse to send the National Guard in a little bit before and clean them all up. So.
I would disagree with that statement because you can clean up the city, but you can't clean up the people. You're still going to expose world leaders to the people of Seattle, and the last thing that I want world leaders to think is that America.
You said you're going to not even the dirt, not even the filth. You're going to expose them to the people.
Yes,
we can't get rid. If we could move all the people, it might be okay.
I don't want. Hold on, I haven't finished my statement. I don't want world leaders to think America is full of trans people. And if you hold it in Seattle, that's exactly what you would think.
Well, firstly, America kind of is full of trans people because, it's probably like the biggest population in the world of transsexuals. But with that being said, I think that Trump did a great job in D.C. I mean, he deployed the National Guard, and D.C. is gorgeous now. If anybody has been recently to D.C., it's clean. You don't see homeless people taking dumps on the side of the street, right in the middle, right next to national monuments or anything anymore. So, listen, I'm of the opinion that Trump should deploy the National Guard in Memphis, Tennessee. I think that he should deploy in Washington, in Seattle, Washington. I think that he should deploy in Detroit. I think that, the World Cup just gives him an excuse to do it,
Let's talk a little bit more about Antifa. So you're down there for a Turning Point event. You guys are sent to a couple of the tour stops, and Antifa is still a big deal. Have you noticed a change since they were designated a domestic terror organization?
Not really. No, I wouldn't say a big change. I would say they're as wild as they always were. We drove 2.5 hours from Seattle to Portland, and basically the way it was set up is you would go down the street, and as soon as you turned the corner to the facility, you just saw a bunch of people wearing black, having megaphones, completely masked up, can't see any part of them. I mean, they were just Antifa. I wouldn't say that they were any more calm or any more wild than they were before. It was just Antifa.
Yeah, to give context, we were at the Portland ICE facility, where Cam Higbee has been covering for a couple weeks, and you have a couple other people on Twitter who I'm blanking on their names, but
Sav's been down there. Dave Medina's been down there.
Yeah.
So you're out there. This is the big one where all the protests are happening.
Yeah, this is where we were on Saturday night. So I think we got there at about 6:30, and it was. It wasn't super crazy at first. It was kind of everybody was split on their own sides because there were a ton of,
MAGA patriots, which heavily outnumbered Antifa. It was a beautiful sight to see.
It was 3-1.
That in Portland, there was so many MAGA patriots that were fed up with Antifa. They just completely outnumbered them.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not something I would have expected.
Not in Portland.
Were you guys shocked by that as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at first, we were kind of nervous going in because it was our second time going to an ICE facility because we went to the one in
Broadview,
Chicago.
Yep.
But we were thinking, this is a whole nother beast,
it's
Portland, Oregon
West Coast,
is crazy. So when we got there and we saw Cam filming, it was funny because he didn't even recognize us because we were all blacked out. We were literally wearing masks and stuff to blend in with Antifa. So everybody on the MAGA side, I guess, they thought that we were Antifa. So people were recording us oh, these guys look shady. They're new here, yada, 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 which was kind of funny. But after we saw how many of them there were, I mean, at a certain point, we just unmasked. We talked to everybody, and then we felt safe.
So, which ICE facility? The one in it was Portland? You said,
yeah.
Portland or the one in Illinois? Which one was more chaos?
Definitely Portland, but I think it's because they had to have chaos. Talking about the ICE side, so Portland has dealt with so much. They were preparing for using force, and they at times were using force. I mean, we got peppered multiple times, which was
How fun
insane.
Is
It smells horrible. I mean, it was just the pepper bullets, like, that they were shooting at people. So they were shooting at some of the people who were crossing the line. But it smelled horrible.
And it travels. So even if, because they probably shot pepper 20 feet away from us, but when it hits the ground, it just shoots up and goes everywhere. And it just triggers your nose. Your nose starts pouring. You start sneezing. Your eyes start watering. I had to get away. That was something I wasn't prepared for. It was also something.
Was it the first time you dealt with a pepper spray kind of like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was also something I didn't know what it was at the time because I didn't piece two and two together. I was like, that's too far for me to get hit by something like that. I was like, someone must have sprayed a chemical in the air. And so I was freaking out, like, what if I'm ingesting some sort of dangerous chemical, which I guess I was, but I thought it was something else.
No, yeah, it was interesting. I didn't know what they were shooting at first because it was just completely new and it was kind of out of the blue. I mean, we were doing an interview and then they get into like a big fight and then that's when like the first round of the shots go off. And we were like, what the hell is going on?
Who's fighting who at this point? Is it the Antifa guys are fighting MAGA guys or are they fighting ICE officials?
Mix. So there were multiple times where it was MAGA versus Antifa, but there was also a lot of altercations during shift change. So when the shift would change, ICE would basically hold the line to let people leave, and then Antifa would also try and quote unquote hold their line, and it would just turn into a fight where ICE is pushing them back, and Antifa's not moving, which would end up getting shots fired with pepper bullets. So yeah, it was a mix.
After being down there and seeing it all firsthand and at several of these ICE facilities, how do you feel like it compares to the coverage that you're seeing at these facilities? Is the coverage of it fair and balanced, or is it kind of a bit sensationalized?
I'd say for a facility like Portland, it's fair. Maybe there's other facilities where it doesn't seem as bad, at least when we go there. Now, obviously, different facilities are going to have different activity on different nights. You know, some nights where a ton of people are off work and some huge major national headline just went out, saying that like ICE officers are complete racists or whatever, you're going to have a lot more aggression coming from the left or something to that extent. So I'd say like, from what we experienced, there wasn't anything crazy in the news this past weekend, at least pertaining to like the ICE facility stuff that wasn't new. So we saw like a lot of the usuals, and I would say that the coverage is justified there. But, some other nights it could be a lot more passive. In other ICE facilities across the country, it could be more passive. But I still like to use the narrative that they're all crazy because these people are crazy.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're defending pedophiles and murderers and rapists.
I mean, to dumb what he said down, it's dependent on the day. Every day is different. So, yeah, I would say that what you're seeing online is justified depending on what you're reading, what side you're reading. But I would definitely say conservative coverage, what you're reading is true.
So when you're going into these things, how are you psyching yourself up? What are you doing to prepare?
Listening to music, getting in my hype stage, saying a prayer, stuff like that.
Shoot, just prayer, man, because nothing else is really going to help me in there other than if some crazy guy was there that night and he had a knife or something and tried to attack us. I mean, we were defenseless. We didn't bring anything on like the plane with us, right? We had how many hours was it flying, including the layover?
All day.
Yeah, like we took like basically a whole day to get there. So, because it's on literally the other side of the country. So we're not bringing, firearms or knives or anything to defend ourselves. If some crazy guy had decided to attack us, then, prayer and running is the only thing.
Are you getting into any of these locations and thinking to yourself like we should go get some pepper spray somewhere, or we should go get something somewhere?
Oh yeah, most definitely. But at the same time, we just don't. We should, but we don't. To talk about what you said though, your last point talking about crazy people. There was this one guy there, and he was bawling his eyes out and started talking to the officers. And
Just crying?
Yes, and he was a larger guy. You could tell he was not all there. And at the time, I didn't think much about it. I couldn't tell what side he was on. But I did notice him bawling his eyes out, and he was like, I need to talk to someone. And the police officer took him to the side and basically started counseling him. Well, I saw the next day, I guess it was yesterday, on X, the same guy, and he was doing an interview, and he said that Antifa has been bullying him and that he is of the opinion that he has to fit in or they won't accept him. So that I say all that to say these people are basically going out on a limb here and trying to be as crazy as possible to be accepted by Antifa. That guy was not all there, and he vocally said, I have to fit in or else they won't accept me.
Do you think there's an element of Antifa trying to take advantage of the mentally ill in some of these situations?
Oh, yeah.
There was a guy there.
The black guy?
Yeah, so we have a clip out on X with Frontline's TPUSA, and there was, I would be very cautious on playing it on your show because he blurts out the N-word like a gazillion times. Okay. But he was definitely wasted, and we're told.
I'm thinking of a different person.
Oh no! So this guy that like came up to us started like getting in our face, and he was insane, super drunk, and he was definitely a drunk. You know, like we're told that he was there every single night for like weeks, getting wasted, and fighting for the Antifa cause while
he was showing
being
off
almost
his
blackout
bullets.
drunk.
He was showing off bullets?
Well, where he had been hit.
Yeah, because he had been arrested.
How many times he had been shot. He was showing it off. He showed his chest. He was like, I've been hit here, hit here, hit here. He was bragging about it.
But yeah, the stuff that's in the clip is...
Is it the guy with the red scarf? Was he wearing a red scarf?
Is he colored?
Yes, it's him.
Yeah, it's that one.
It's him.
All right, we'll put it up for some B-roll on the stream.
Yeah.
But all right, so explain this guy. He's just mentally ill.
Yeah, I mean,
and an alcoholic.
From what we could tell, I mean, he was drinking with an open container. He, had a joint in his hand. He was definitely crossfaded, and we're told that this is like every night, basically. Someone like that should, one, probably be with their family. If they don't have family, should be at like some sort of counseling. But back in the day, I mean, we'd put that person in like a mental, facility, some sort of, maybe not an asylum, but at least somewhere they can get help. And the actions are encouraged, there by the Antifa members. I mean, nobody does anything. They're just like, oh, leave him alone, get off him. Like he's not, bothering anybody. And it's like, dude.
But he actually needs some legitimate
he needs help. Like this guy's nuts. So yeah, I mean that. I wouldn't say everybody there was like that guy. I think that guy was definitely an extreme special case. But the other people were crazy in other ways.
The guy I thought you were going to talk about, there was a guy, I want to say he was in a green vest, also a black guy, and he was basically the aggressor in any type of environment where things broke out of hand. He was in the midst of it. And I would argue his role was basically to get aggressive. The first fight, it was actually with Cam Higbee, ironically enough. Cam was just walking, and he asked the guy to move out of the way, and one thing led to another, and they start pushing each other. But he was in the midst of probably every altercation there was that night.
Yeah.
So we need asylums. We need some mental institutions
easily,
back in this country, and we could probably fill them up relatively quickly if we just followed you guys around too.
Oh yeah, we should do that,
dude. We should have our own, like, maybe not ICE, but it'd be cool if like some of the ICE agents just followed us around and just like, all right, go in there. Let us get our interviews first, and then you guys go in a round of the crazies.
And you guys are going to be dealing with some crazies locally here today. We're going to talk about that. Somebody very important is coming to town.
I wouldn't say important.
Yeah. No, listen, a lot of people don't think that she's going to run for president. Maybe not president, but I think that she's ready to run for more political office.
Well, we'll talk about that when we get back. It's 10:23. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Zero Res of Nashville. You got family coming in for the holidays. They're not going to say this to you, so I just want to be honest with you before they even get here. Your carpets are nasty. They're gross. They're disgusting. I love you enough to tell you. Your family loves you a lot too. They're not going to say anything. Clean them up before they get here. Talk to Zero Res. They're going to use the Maha of carpet cleaning, exclusive ZR water. No soap, no harsh chemicals, no residue. Your carpets aren't just going to look insanely clean. They're going to stay clean longer. Maybe you're like, that's great. I don't have carpets. Well, they do the works. Air ducts, tile, rugs, upholstery, everything. These guys are going to clean it up before the family comes here, and they're not going to break the bank doing it. $45 any room. Trust me. You want to take advantage of this today. With over 4,500 Google reviews, 98% Facebook recommendations, you can't go wrong with Zero Res. They are absolutely the highest rated in town. So call them right now and get yourself on the list to get it cleaned up before Thanksgiving. 615-535-9376, 615-535-9376, or book online, ZeroResNashville.com. All right, so anyway, Canada.
In the unlikely event that you find yourself the victim of a home invasion, we are urging citizens not to take matters into their own hands. But don't engage unless absolutely necessary.
Is that so? Don't take matters into your own hands? Bro, they're in my living room.
We urge you to call 911 and do everything you can to keep yourself and loved ones safe until police arrive, and be the best witness possible.
Oh, be the best witness possible as your wife is being beaten by home invaders. You're being tied up. Just call Lee, chip in, and be a great witness. You know, Superman, and then, you got Bizarro. In Florida, they're like, we're going to shoot you stone cold dead. This is Bizarro, Florida. Is that what Ontario is?
It's close enough.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. It's 1027. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. I got Bo Diddle and Gabe Victal in studio. Diddle TV. Dittle on X.
You got it right. Yeah.
No Diddy.
No Diddy. No diddling. None of that. Dittle. And Gabe. You guys have been everywhere.
Yes.
I think it's even funnier when you really explain Bo's name and then you go, and Gabe.
And Gabe, yeah.
Tonight, you guys are going to be dealing with the crazies, the leftists of left here in Nashville. One, Kamala Harris is having a word salad buffet at the Ryman.
Yes.
Are you guys excited about that?
I'm super excited.
I'm excited. I don't know what to expect, though. I don't know if it's going to be a calm, like, book reading type crowd, because she's doing it, I'm pretty sure, to promote one of her new books.
Yeah, 107 days.
Yeah. And
107
so
days.
my fear is that these are going to be the very moderate book reading liberals. And it's not going to be as exciting. But who knows? Maybe there'll be some protests outside. Maybe there'll be some far leftists. Maybe there'll be the Palestine crowd. Who knows? Only time will tell.
I would ask them, how do you make $2 billion and wind up $20 million in debt in just 107 days?
Great question. And I would like to urge your audience here, if any of you guys would like to join me in doing this, make sure you guys come out to the Ryman as well. Ask questions. Feel free to come out. It could be a good time.
What time are you guys heading down there today?
We'll probably be there around 4:30 or 5.
Yeah. The event starts, I think doors open at 6, and then the event starts at 7. So we'll be there an hour or two before to catch people walking in, obviously.
Hopefully waiting in line where they can't get away from us.
Yeah. Listen, I would love to somehow figure out Kamala Harris's entrance, and maybe try to mog her, go over there, ask her some questions, or at least like blurt out questions.
Oh,
to
I'm
her.
sure they gotta have like a private little garage that she's pulling in.
You would
like
think
the door
so.
closes behind her.
The Ryman is older, though.
Yeah, like the Ryman, there's only a couple entrances that I can think of, because I've seen some of like the backside entrances and stuff like that, and it doesn't really seem like they could really get her in super secretively. Like they're still going to have a fleet of cars. Yeah, like you're going to see where, they're going.
So all that content is going to be posted on the Frontlines TPUSA X account and on @DiddleTV on X as well. So make sure that you keep your eyes on Bo's Twitter account for that later on today. That's going to, I hope it's hilarious.
Hopefully it's good. Who knows? I don't want to hype it up. I haven't talked about it too much.
It's got some potential.
It has plenty of potential, but like I said, it could be a dud. If they're just the book readers that want to talk about her vernacular, might not be as good, so who knows?
I'm hoping it's a lot of like triggered fat lesbians. That's my hope. I really hope.
Gabe's going in with high hopes. I like it. We'll talk a little bit more about the Kamala Harris event that's happening at the Ryman tonight, and then I want to get some Gen Z perspective on the news of the day from my favorite Gen Zers, Bo and Gabe. It's 10:31 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. A Nashville judge temporarily stopping the deployment of National Guard troops in Memphis. Here's Memphis reporter Joyce Peterson at Action News 5.
The judge is ruling on the lawsuit that Shelby County Mayor Lee Harris and other Democratic leaders filed to stop the deployment of the troops, saying it's illegal. Mayor Harris contends Governor Bill Lee cannot deploy the Tennessee National Guard for civil unrest unless there is a rebellion or invasion. The ruling comes just days after the Guard doubled the amount of troops in the Bluff City.
The ruling is limited, though, to the National Guard. It doesn't affect the Memphis Safe Task Force. That'll continue to operate without the support of the National Guard. In Broadview, Illinois, just outside of Chicago, the mayor there declaring a civil emergency. Now, we've seen violent protests there over immigration raids at an ICE processing facility.
Mayor Katrina Thompson declaring a civil emergency here in Broadview because of a series of recent threats. Mayor Thompson, in a statement citing a death threat made against her on October 13th, which was reported to the FBI, and a telephoned bomb threat made against Village Hall, as the village has faced criticism for restricting protest hours around the Broadview ICE Processing Center.
ABC's Eric Horng. Last Friday outside that facility, more than 20 people arrested and 4 officers injured. Sumner County commissioners voting last night to provide extra money for the county's volunteer fire departments. News Channel 5's Patsy Montesinos.
For many, volunteering is about protecting their neighbors, but rising costs and inflation have made that harder. In some cases, prices for crucial gear have doubled. We've told you before how that's forced many of their volunteer departments to turn to GoFundMe just to keep operating.
Each fire department gets $50,000. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Dan over at Cabinet Makeovers. I have the perfect Christmas gift for your wife. It's new cabinets. Spoiler alert. She's going to love them. You're going to love them too. I just got these cabinets installed in my house. Brand new pull-out cabinets. They're amazing. I love them. My wife loves them too. They're installed by a family-owned company, Cabinet Makeovers. They've been doing this for 45 years. Everything they do is Tennessee-made. Every cabinet they installed, every pull-out, every drawer, all wood construction, full extension, soft close glides. We love them. The pantry is unbelievable. It's so easy for the kids to grab snacks now that we're saying stop grabbing snacks a lot more than we used to. But these cabinets are unbelievable. If you want to make the investment in your home, do it with a company that doesn't hate you. That's Cabinet Makeovers. They don't stop at kitchens. They'll do custom closets, pantries, cabinetry for every room in your house, all built with the same Tennessee pride and biblical values that guide their business. So call Cabinet Makeovers today. That's what I did. You won't be disappointed. Just pick up the phone and ask for Dan. 615-331-7010, 615-331-7010, or you can see pictures of their work right now online, cabinetmakeoverstn.com. .38 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Chris Hand here. Bo Diddle's in studio. Gabe Victor's in studio. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to us anywhere. iHeart, tune in the FM dial. You can watch the show as well. Super Talk TV, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. Is it just me, or is Rumble kind of a janky platform?
Yeah, it could use some improvement, that's for sure.
It could use a lot of improvement. It's not user-friendly. Listen,
I like the idea of Rumble. I like what it represents.
It's just not user-friendly.
It never works.
Look, the appeal to YouTube, okay, not to glaze YouTube, but it's so clean. Like, it's so clean. Everything works. Everything's easy to click on. Everything's right there. You know, there's a like button, a dislike button, there's a subscribe button, notification bell. Everything's right in front of you. And the colors are nice. You know, the font is nice. Rumble, it's like green and like black, and
feels like I'm in a
everything's
Minecraft
like
video.
weirdly blocky, and the thumbnails like don't work.
I really appreciate you guys because for a while there, I thought I'm just like becoming an old guy.
No.
Okay.
No, I can see it. I think there's some improvement that could be had, but at the same time, like you said, I like the thought behind it. I think they're doing great work, though.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, I'm a fan of like the people behind it. I'm just
we're just being honest.
just not a user, you know. I base something on how much I'm going to use it, you know. I'll use YouTube literally every day.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate your Gen Z perspective on it.
Of course.
Of course.
I do require another Gen Z perspective.
Yeah.
How would you grade the Trump administration so far from strictly from a Gen Z lens?
I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to preface this with don't hate me.
Oh, no.
I'm going to preface this with...
I'm going to open the text line. That way I can see that.
Speak nicely to me, please. I'm very sensitive. With that being said, I think the 50-year mortgage is idiotic at best. That's basically just enslaving you to the banks for longer.
87% more interest you would pay. I will say this, though.
You're going to die before you ever pay it off, statistically.
If you're in a market like Nashville, though, it does create some unique opportunity there. If you're flipping those houses.
If you're flipping it, yeah, but at the same time, the average person isn't flipping. They're buying to own. So I would.
So not impressed with that idea.
I'm not impressed with the idea, which I'm a big fan. To get into financial, we're about to turn to the Dave Ramsey show real quick.
Have you seen all the angry Dave Ramsey memes?
Oh yeah.
It's some of my favorite right now.
I am a fan of getting the lowest monthly payment possible and getting the highest yearly financing options available. And the reasoning I do that when I get loans is so I'm paying the minimum each month. But with that being said, I'm always saving in my savings account to pay it off faster. So if you do the 50-year to get a lower monthly term, go for it, but never, ever, ever plan on lasting 50 years. Still make it a goal to get that thing paid off in 15 years, paying direct to principal. So if you do it that way, then go for it. Take advantage of the lower monthly payments. But if you plan on going throughout the duration of that loan, 50 years, you're just going to be a slave to the bank. But anyways,
that's just an idea right now. It hasn't become to fruition. But overall, yeah.
Getting back to how I would feel about Trump, the 50-year mortgage, horrible idea. I wish gas prices would go down more than they have. I love what he's been able to do with ICE and immigration. That was his biggest campaign promise, and he has most definitely fulfilled that and continuing to fulfill that. But with that being said, I am someone that really appreciates transparency. And when you campaign on releasing the Epstein files, I expect the Epstein files.
So the Epstein files is a big deal for you.
It is. Because liberals, I know how liberals work. And if there's anything that Trump doesn't do, they're going to take advantage of it and make him look bad, going to make him look like the swamp.
Do you agree, though, that the outrage is synthetic? From the left and from the mainstream media, the hyper focusing on it, that's manufactured.
Oh, it's 100% manufactured because they had 4 years to release the Epstein files and they didn't do it. But with that being said, that's not going to change the opinion on the people from the outside looking in. And they're going to see all the Democrats saying, why is Trump not releasing the Epstein files? And they're going to listen to it. So it's a bad look. It hurts us in 2028. It would help so much if he would just go ahead and release it and just go straight out and say, listen, if you are on the Epstein files and you did something disgusting to a child, you're going to prison. That is what we need. That will help a lot.
So for the record, I am of the opinion that they will be released. very promptly.
Promptly is not the word.
They're voting this afternoon.
Very soon, yeah. Like they're voting this afternoon, and Trump said that he will sign to release all of the documents if it passes in Congress, right?
Yep.
So I know that they will be released. I'm very confident. I'm a truster, but I also I don't think that it's noble or anything to go against Trump for any like small faults that he's had within less than 11 months, 10 and a half months in office.
I wouldn't call that a small fault.
Well, but it is. I mean, like, it's something that's inconsequential. It's something that I think it's very naive to believe that we would ever be able to just trust our government to, expose themselves completely, to
That's
the
what
American
he ran
people.
on, though.
Yeah, but just one guy, that might be his intention, but just one guy can't change literally everything. And I would argue that Trump has gone in there as just one guy and built enough coalitions to be able to shake everything up. The only reason people are talking about Jeffrey Epstein is because of him. The only reason people are talking about Israel is because of him. Trump is literally the root cause of any opinions that anybody is allowed to have today. And I think that turning against him is, quite frankly, very dumb. I think that...
So you're not impressed with Marjorie Taylor Greene?
I'm not. I think Marjorie Taylor Greene deserves to be completely primaried. I think that, she was for H-1B visas. Now she's against them, right? She was for... Now she's pro, having ICE cool down with what they're doing.
Well, she owns a construction company.
Exactly. So nothing that MTG is doing. I mean, she's literally siding with liberals. She's going on The View, talking to these people.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
She's an opportunist.
So this is the thing that I said earlier in the show during one of my monologues. I think it's a lot more about Marjorie Taylor Greene than it is about the Epstein files.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Trump sends her a text and says, you can't win the senator race, you can't win the governor race, and then she gets salty.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are other conservatives that have been speaking out and want the Epstein files released. Nancy Mace, Tim Burchett, Tennessee's own, that they don't catch the ire of the president. I don't think having the opinion that you want the files released is going to catch the ire of Donald Trump because he's covering things up. With Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think it was like, that's the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I'm just sick of this woman.
I am not a fan of people who can't, play the game. I think that, Democrats and liberals, they don't play by the rules. And I strongly believe that if Trump doesn't want to play by the rules, we should follow his lead on that. If I understand that politics is a very interesting, very random thing that most normal people can't understand, but being able to coalition build is 100% necessary. And if you, Marjorie Taylor Greene, is deciding, okay, one day I'm going to side with the president, the next day I'm not going to, and then when it's convenient for me to run for an election again, I'm going to side with him again. I'm then going to, come out with this position and then flip-flop on it like 3 different times. I'm not going to want to trust her. Plus, she had an affair twice openly. So, also not a big fan of sexual promiscuity there. But,
I don't know if the affair is the angle we want to take when you're choosing Trump over.
No,
over
sure.
Marjorie
But
Taylor
I'm just
Greene.
saying that I think this might be very hypocritical, but I think it's different when it happens with like a woman in a marriage than it does with a man. But that's for a different time.
Hot Take Tuesday.
That's for a different time.
This is interesting.
Your thoughts on Marjorie Taylor Greene? Because you seem to. I'm watching Bo,
Yeah.
and if you're watching on Super Talk TV, Bo doesn't seem very impressed with the take.
My issue is when, and I don't care what Gabe says, I call it blindly supporting people. I'm never going to blindly support someone. I am a MAGA loyalist, but I think being a MAGA loyalist, it comes down to what does MAGA mean? MAGA is not Trump. MAGA is the message that Trump started, which essentially...
I mean, you could make the argument Rush Limbaugh has that the ideas that Trump really rallied on and campaigned behind came way before him.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it is, not to tie this back to a whole other topic, but like when liberals always say love is love, and I always use the example of, if I were to jump off a cliff, you would tell me, no, don't do that. And that's because love isn't love. True love is God's love and telling you to stop. And so the reason that I'm like being vocal against Trump is because I actually do like the guy and I want to see him do good. And I'm not just going to blindly support everything he's doing if I think that he's messing up.
And I think there's been plenty of stuff that we can criticize him
yes,
for.
And I think that I can hold the position of there's things I disagree with and wish he would do differently or do better. And that is me truly supporting the guy because I want him to do what's best for him and the country. I don't think truly supporting someone is just saying, I support whatever you do. I'm just going to follow you blindly no matter what. So to get to Marjorie Taylor Greene, I do think that she's hurting her reputation by going on The View. Some of her positions, not a fan, with the whole immigration thing and saying that we should focus on other people. Not a fan of that. But at the same time, I don't like the way Trump just calls people out and thinks that they should be primaried for a change of opinion. I think that there's bigger fish we should fry than Marjorie Taylor Greene. I still think Marjorie Taylor Greene is a net positive to the conservative movement.
I don't think that Trump decides that people are going to be out or like not in the circle.
He does, though.
When they just change their opinions on something like super nuanced. I think what happens is Trump values loyalty, and loyalty is arguably one of the most important attributes to have when it comes to right-wing politics. Loyalty is above a lot of other values because you can have someone like RFK who disagrees fundamentally on a lot of things with Donald Trump, but because he is loyal to him, he's actually getting shit done. So loyalty is important.
You dumped that.
Sorry, my bad. I didn't mean to cuss.
He said the S word.
Is getting stuff done. So what I would argue is that Marjorie Taylor Greene has showed to not be someone who is loyal to actually forwarding the movement. We're literally winning right now, but conservatives cannot stop from wanting to implode on ourselves. What do you mean?
I think this is the big disagreement in MAGA right now, right here. You got one side saying we're winning, we have to stop distracting from the wins, and then you got the other side saying we're not winning.
We're not winning.
So what does winning look like?
Winning looks like winning races, and when we can't win in New Jersey, when we can't win in New York, when we can't.
Did anybody expect us to actually win those races?
Yeah,
I think you can make the argument that we expected it to be a lot closer. But
I think in New Jersey we had a great chance to win. The fact that we didn't win New Jersey is scary, and I think it's because we're infighting right now. All of our opinions.
Do you think the infighting was that bad heading into that election?
I do.
I think infighting is very online. I think that there is a huge misconception on infighting online and actual voting, in the real life. Yes, because you have to. These people, Republican voters, are not Gen Z. They're not millennials. They're not people who are on Twitter and Instagram constantly. These people are boomers on Facebook that don't know what's going on with the nuanced takes that people are having about Israel online. Like, nobody gives a crap.
That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is when you have big conservative pundits. Let's take Charlie Kirk, for example. He was a major part of winning the last election.
Sure, I agree.
And when you have people like him who would have had to have been focused on conservative issues rather than getting the message out to go vote in these states, that is when we start losing. And all of the big conservative pundits, i.e. like Tucker, Candace, Ben Shapiro, Dave Rubin, all of these people, when they are making their shows focused on infighting and not focusing on the New Jersey governor race, that is when we start losing. And right now, people are so focused on different topics in our movement, we need to be focused on winning.
But you don't think that Trump giving endorsements holds a lot more weight than any of those people talking on a show about winning? I can agree to an extent that someone like Tucker or someone like Ben Shapiro should be advocating for our guys to win. That's great. But they also have their own platforms. I mean, they're not held to a gun, or they're not being paid to endorse these candidates. So I agree that we should be helping the movement, but the people who are already going to be wanting us to win races are already doing that. The people who don't care and only care about themselves are the ones who aren't going out and advocating for us to win.
I'm just saying when the focus is on different issues and on the X trending is talking about conservative infighting rather than governor races, that's when you know that our focuses aren't right.
I mean, I think that's a fair point.
Yeah, I think it's fair. Now, I
that's a
think
fair
that
point.
for it being like 2025, not even being close to a midterm, I think most people
This
aren't
was
gonna show-
important, though.
But most
This
people
was
aren't going
very
to show
important.
up unless like they're told to show up.
Well, and historical trends show that it's this election always
Yeah,
goes the way of the opposite
correct,
party.
correct.
And I think it's a bit abysmal that we couldn't at the very least get a conservative attorney general in the state of Virginia after all that we saw.
Yeah.
I think
we had
it's-
Glenn Youngkin.
Yeah, and Glenn Youngkin didn't do a bad
I
job
love
by any stretch
Glenn
of the
Youngkin. I'm a big
imagination.
fan.
I mean, I wouldn't like be like that's my guy, moving forward. But he didn't do a bad job in the state of Virginia. And then you look at the option that they voted in; it's just an absolute mess. In New Jersey, I mean, I think that was one of the races where we could have won. I think that it should have been a lot closer than it was. But nobody's talking either about all the weird stuff that happened on Election Day in New Jersey. It's like that's just been buried and we're moving on.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree. My whole point, though, is we need to focus more on winning and less fighting, which I'm not saying that, I'm perfect. I've taken part in, you could say, quote unquote, infighting. I've been vocal about certain things. But at the end of the day, that doesn't change the fact I can be critical of Trump. I can be critical of Vance. That doesn't change the fact that at the end of the day, I'm still going to vote for them 100 times out of 100. And some of these other, for lack of better words, idiots, they get on here and they start saying, oh, they're not real conservatives. I'm just not going to vote. And that's what ruins the election.
That to me is the scariest prospect. Is not that we're going to lose voters to the Democrats, but just that we're going to lose voters in general.
Yes. And for some reason, it's a huge trend that I don't understand. There's plenty of things that I've already mentioned that I can disagree with Trump on. But I will never vote on a side that supports abortion. I will never vote on a side that completely disagrees with every value I hold as an American man. And so I can be critical of Trump and still know he has my interests a lot better than the other side.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you think that a non-vote is a vote for the other side?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I agree 100%. But would you not argue, or could you not argue, or at least see the position of someone arguing that, like, by you constantly not being able to, like, praise the president, the vice president, and Republicans in Congress for doing good things constantly, because we are in a Trump administration, there's good stuff happening every single day, and we just don't talk about it. It's not something that it's basically expected from us, because I would argue that we're winning. When something bad happens, we're always so quick, or not we, because, I don't participate in this, but a lot of people on the right are so quick to jump at Trump's throat. I would argue that is what loses us elections, because a lot of people start listening to people that I'll leave unnamed that say, well, don't vote. Trump isn't our guy anyways. Don't vote. He's not doing this for us.
I think that's a major mistake.
Going after Trump for literally every single thing that doesn't perfectly align with our ideological idea of what conservatism should be is not a good tendency to have. That's just my stance.
I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I think you hold a very, very dangerous mindset that is getting close to the line of cultism. I hate to say it, but when you refuse to talk about stuff that isn't perfect.
But I think what he's laying into is the issue that the Trump administration has had since this new term, and it goes back to messaging. Highlight the wins. Don't hyper focus on negativity and losses, and a lot more good is going to come.
If we want to have JD Vance, because I strongly, I'm a big fan of JD Vance.
Likewise.
I think that he will be president in 2028. But I think the only thing that stops him from being president in 2028 is literally our own base. Democrats will not be able to have someone else that's big enough, that's clean cut enough to go up against JD Vance, like the guy.
Newsom.
Gavin Newsom is miles behind JD Vance in likability.
I mean, you got
charitability.
70% of the homes in the Palisades haven't even been rebuilt since those fires. The
I am in zero. Let me be
California.
clear here. I am not advocating for Newsom in any way. I think he's a horrible person, a horrible governor. I am not in any way saying what it might sound like. What I'm simply saying is he is clean cut. He is someone who looks likable. I'm not saying he is likable.
I just think
he looks
he just
likable.
brings way too much baggage with him.
You would think that about Biden
People
too,
are
though,
not
and he still won.
People are not
Yeah,
going to be excited.
but
Well,
Biden, he didn't
that's
have a
debatable.
record. He didn't have a record to campaign on the first time, and then the second time they removed him because they knew he wouldn't win.
Yeah. Democrats vote for people that they're excited for. Okay, this is why Obama won. This is why people went out in mass numbers to try to vote for Hillary Clinton. Obviously, couldn't stop the Trump, the Mr. Don. But they're not going to go out and vote for someone they're not excited for. And I highly doubt people are going to be excited for Gavin Newsom in 3 years' time.
I don't know.
I don't think that there's going to be anyone who can stop J.D. Vance other than the right wing.
I hope you're right. I truly hope you're right. I'm not wanting what I'm saying in any way. I'm simply trying to forewarn and bring it up as something we should be concerned about. But I'm not advocating for Newsom. I hope that you are right.
We'll leave it there. Bo is not advocating for Gavin Newsom. The guys are going to be out tonight in front of the Kamala Harris 107 Days book tour at the Ryman Auditorium. If you want to go see Bo and Gabe, they'll be there around 4 o'clock. Appreciate you guys coming in as always. Be safe out there tonight. Be safe on the road. God bless you guys. 10:59. We went way over. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We are tracking some strong to potentially severe thunderstorms today and tonight here for Middle Tennessee. And right now, drivers in Goodlettsville, we have rolling roadblocks for potholes. It's blocking the left lane of Vietnam Veterans Boulevard westbound right there at Center Point Road. Then in Talbot's Corner, we got a crash blocking the left shoulder 65 southbound at Trinity Lane. All right, a tech company that you've likely never heard of, but one that supports services you probably use, has had a serious breakdown today. San Francisco-based infrastructure company Cloudflare has been hit with what it calls widespread errors for clients including X, OpenAI, and Spotify. The company says it has identified the issue and is fixing it. In the meantime, you try to monitor the issue by checking the normally reliable Down Detector. Good luck. Down Detector is also a user of Cloudflare services and has been affected by the outage. In our nation's capital, House Speaker Mike Johnson on the resolution to compel the Department of Justice to release all of the Epstein files.
I'm going to vote to move this forward. I think it could be close to a unanimous vote because everybody here, all the Republicans, want to go on record to show they're for maximum transparency, but they also want to note that we're demanding that this stuff get corrected before it is ever moves through the process and is completed.
Yeah, Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene says she's been receiving attacks by the president online for her support to release the files. During a news conference before the vote today, she responded to those online attacks.
He called me a traitor for standing with these women and refusing to take my name off the discharge petition. Let me tell you what a traitor is. A traitor is an American that serves foreign countries and themselves.
Well, the vote's expected to pass with strong bipartisan support, as you heard the speaker say. President Trump, who previously opposed it, reversed course, now says he'll sign it if it reaches his desk. Meanwhile, at the White House,
President Trump is rolling out a red carpet for Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, a grand arrival ceremony on the White House South Lawn, a meeting in the Oval Office, lunch in the cabinet room, and a black tie dinner tonight with political and business leaders. The president on Monday calling Saudi Arabia a great ally. It's the first visit to the U.S. for the Crown Prince since 2018, months before the killing of journalist and Saudi critic Jamal Khashoggi. U.S. intelligence assessed the Crown Prince approved the killing. He denied ordering the operation. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
We've just reached the 2-year mark of the Freddie O'Connell tenure as mayor of the city of Nashville, and one asks oneself, what has he done for this city? Now, look, I've had Freddie on this show, and do I need to tell you yet again that he seems like a nice enough guy? Do I need to? Oh, he seems like a nice enough guy. I'd like to sit down and have a beer with him. You know, my grandma seems like a nice enough lady, but she's dead. I don't want her to be the mayor of Nashville. Just because they're nice people doesn't mean that they're good leaders. Now, Freddie is set to be on this radio show in 3 weeks. November 7th, we have him slated, I think, in the 3 o'clock hour. I was talking to his guy, Alex Apple, about that just several days ago. And we will present all of this to him. Tell me what your accomplishments are as mayor of this city, besides raising taxes, because you've done that twice. Twice.
President Trump is not proposing an increase in student visas for Chinese students. The $600K references 2 years' worth of visas, which is simply a continuation of existing policy.
I don't want 300,000 people a year from China in our country.
No.
I just don't.
No.
Because I think they spy.
Yeah.
And I think that they're stealing
I don't even
our
think
intellectual
it's not even
property.
that we think they do.
They do.
They do it. Well, they got busted operating secret police stations in our country.
Yeah.
They got busted operating a secret biolab in California.
And why are they? That's right. I remember that.
They rode a spy balloon over our entire country. There should be.
And Joe Biden let it happen.
There should be no reason why we're doing this. It's 11:09 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. We're running a little late. Sorry. Bo and Gabe, we're getting into it.
Just a little bit.
I love those guys.
Oh, I'm here for it.
They're the best of friends, and then they differ very much on politics. But they're like an old married couple sometimes. Have you noticed that? Anybody else notice that?
Yeah.
Couple of Gen Z old married couples.
A little bit of bickering here and there.
I thought it was hilarious. Great guys, honestly. Give them a follow. Diddle TV, Gabe Victal. I was just seeing what was happening in the world during the commercial break, and I came across this video. The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia is at the White House, and he's getting the tour. They're showing off the presidential portrait wall and the Biden auto pen portrait. It's like a must stop for anybody that's coming to the White House. Let's go check out the Biden auto pen together.
It does look kind of funny though that Trump is having to explain the joke to him.
I think he's
say, hey, by the way,
this is why this is funny. Let me explain this to you. Let me explain why this is funny. That ruins the joke.
It's a little bit.
But
still pretty good.
Like what you see here is he was mentally incapacitated. Do you remember him using the short stairs? Everybody remembers him using the short stairs. So Kamala Harris tonight, I just got a notification. I looked at StubHub to see how much Kamala Harris tickets were.
Oh, yeah?
Because we wanted to go. We talked about this months ago.
Yeah.
And we kind of dropped the ball on getting tickets.
I dropped the ball on this.
Well, because we wanted to go because we were under the impression that somebody, this is how long ago it was, somebody may throw a green dildo on the stage because of the time the WNBA was dealing with flying objects.
Yeah.
So we thought it would be funny.
Somebody would throw it.
I don't want to go now, dude. Tickets are $115 just to get in the door. No thanks.
It's like
no
a week's
thanks.
wages for me.
No thanks. We got to get those likes up if you want me to go to something like that.
Yeah.
No
buy
thanks.
my new book.
Yeah, buy my new book. It's called The 107 Days. Can you believe she wrote that book? It's like how to make $2 billion and wind up $20 million in debt in 107 days.
Weirdest magic trick I've ever heard of.
Yeah, watch it disappear.
Yeah.
Bo and Gabe are going to be fine. People, it's funny watching the text line when these guys were going at it. Quite a few people agree with Gabe. Quite a few people agree with Bo. Quite a few people said don't use boomer as a negative term. I'm sorry. This is one of the things that happens when we invite Gen Z guests on.
It happens.
They do throw around the term boomer quite a bit. You notice if you were watching on the YouTube stream, also something that happens with Gen Z guests is they swear.
Just a little bit.
So we have to hit the dump button on the radio, and then we had to. You got the whole thing on YouTube.
Yeah. Whole thing on YouTube. It'll be podcasted later, so you can hear it all
in its glory. Gabe apologized, by the way.
Yeah,
he said, "Tell Mason I'm sorry."
It's okay.
There is some news to get to. I saw this yesterday, and I just thought to myself, like, I basically channeled my inner Dan Bongino, and just thought, oh yeah. You ever feel like that?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. This happened inside the Oval Office yesterday. They were talking about the FIFA stuff, but President Trump takes questions, as he tends to, and he never shies away from them. And the question of Mexico came up. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about Mexico.
Oh yeah.
I've said it quite a few times. You want me to support a foreign war? How about we go after the narcos? How about we go after the people that are bringing death and destruction into our country? And let's go after them wherever they are. Donald Trump was asked, well, what if that means inside Mexico? Would you be down for that? And he says, I would be double down for that.
In Mexico, or putting American troops or American personnel into Mexico to deal with?
Would I launch strikes in Mexico to stop drugs? It's okay with me.
He almost went full. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's it. He was close. But we got it. It's all right. It's all right with me.
In Mexico to stop drugs? It's okay with me. Whatever we have to do to stop drugs. Mexico is... Look, I looked at Mexico City over the weekend. There's some big problems over there.
Have you seen the riots in Mexico? Bananas. I don't know. I honestly, you read the news and it tells you, oh, these are people that are protesting the president. Then you read other news and they're like, actually, these are funded by cartels. Then you read other news and you're like, actually, the president of Mexico is owned by the cartels. And then you read other news and it's like, I don't know which way is which with the Mexican protests. I'm not going to lie to you, but I did watch the footage, and the footage is bananas. I saw a cop in full riot gear get dragged to the ground. They hit him with. They were hitting him with. What was it like hedge trimmers? You know what I'm saying? Like,
really?
Like bolt cutters or something like that. Like not like open with the blade hitting him, but just like whapping him with it on the back. And then this cop gets like dragged into a crowd, and the other cops are just like standing there watching it. It's
letting it happen.
Insane. They're like trying to rip this guy's helmet off, his riot helmet, and they're just beating the crap out of him. It's insane. You see what's going on there, and you're like, who has control of this country again? Oh, that's right. Nobody has control of this country. I think that a lot of the citizens would welcome the United States getting involved and dealing with the narco problem. Donald Trump, he's open to it.
If we had to, would we do there what we've done to the waterways? You know, there's almost no drugs coming in through our waterways anymore. Isn't it down like 85%?
It is, sir.
I don't know who the 15% would be.
Pretty good.
It wouldn't be you.
No, that's for sure.
No, I think it's been...
Tons and tons of
You would
drugs.
say that's a big signal.
Absolutely.
We have almost no drugs coming into our country by the sea, by, the waterways. And you know why, okay? I mean, it's pretty obvious. Would I...
Because we blow them up.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, it's I don't get my I don't get twisted in a bunch or anything like that when that happens. There's no saltiness or sandiness. I just I'm here for it. This is what I can support. I'm tired of the fentanyl flowing into this country. Stop it by any means necessary. And if that means launching strikes into Mexico, let's do that too.
Would I do that on the land corridors? I would absolutely. Look, every boat we knock out, we save 25,000 American lives. Not to mention the destruction of families. These families are decimated forever.
Yep.
The mother, the father, the children. They never recover really from it. When you lose somebody, like the way they live. If you lose them, but the way they die is horrible.
I mean, have you seen, there's an Instagram account out there that I follow called Every 11 Minutes. Have you ever seen the Every 11 Minutes Instagram account? And it's just young people, and it's just videos of them happy and being young. And then it's like, oh, by the way, this young 16-year-old girl, she took what she thought was a Vicodin, and it actually was laced with fentanyl, and then she died. And it's like, oh, by the way, this 19-year-old college kid, he did what he thought was cocaine at a party, and by the way, it was fentanyl, and he died. Every 11 minutes. Insane. Trump is right. Families completely devastated. And there used to be a time in this country where you could go do something stupid as a kid, and it's not going to wreck your whole life. But those times have changed. And we have to change our approach. The war on drugs needs to change rapidly, and I think going into a more offensive direction is the right way to go. Blow them off the face of the earth. This is a national security issue. Make no mistake about it. Trump seems open to the idea.
So when we knock out a boat and we save 25,000 lives, that's great. Now, do I feel the same way about the corridors that they use? We know every one of them. We have every one of those corridors under major surveillance. We have nobody coming in through our southern border. But we know exactly how they get their things here, how they get the drugs here. Fentanyl, cocaine. Colombia has cocaine factories where they make cocaine. Would I knock out those factories? I would be proud to do it personally. I didn't say I'm doing it, but I would be proud to do it because
I'd be proud. And I'm proud to be an American. Who wouldn't sign up for that? Honestly, this is what we voted for. Peace through strength. He goes a bit further. He puts every cartel leader on notice, saying that we have every route, every corridor. We have their addresses. Do you want to play the game of effing around and finding out?
In Mexico, they know how I stand. We're losing hundreds of thousands of people to drugs. So now we've stopped the waterways, but we know every route. We know every route. We know the addresses of every drug lord. We know their address. We know their front door. We know everything about every one of them. They're killing our people. That's like a war. Would I do it? I'd be proud to. I'd probably go into Congress and say, hey, and you know what? The Democrats and the Republicans would both agree, unless they're crazy. And they are a little crazy on the Democrat side. But we have lost hundreds of thousands of people a year, death. And that's not talking about family destruction, that's talking about death. And much of it comes through Mexico. So let me just put it this way. I am not happy with Mexico, okay?
I'm here for it. I'm 100% here for it. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, she's fired back at the president, saying that he'd be open to striking narco-terrorists who kill Americans inside Mexico, saying, it's not going to happen. Okay. That's a strongly worded statement. It's not going to happen until it does, and it'll happen if and when the president decides to do so, and I hope that he decides to do it soon. We were listening. Me and my wife last night. There's a comedian, Andrew Schultz, funny guy, and he had Charlemagne on his podcast on from the Breakfast Club, the hip hop DJ, and Charlemagne's like, you can't do that. We got to have due process. And Andrew Schultz looks at him. He's like, you're the type of guy. Like that's the kind of logic. You guys would have looked at the kamikaze planes coming in on Pearl Harbor and been like, well, let's get them down here and arrest them and give them due process. It's like, why are we doing that while they're killing us? So is there any reason why we want to wait for them to kill more Americans, or should we go on offense? I lean towards offense. It's 11:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Quick heads up. If you got a slow or clogged drain, don't sit around and wait, hoping that it's magically going to fix itself before your family heads over for the holidays. Call Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today and take advantage of the 93 are free mainline opening special. You heard me right, 93 are free. Either they clear your main line for just $93 or it's free. This is a November-only deal, and it is a very smart way to keep things running smooth before the holidays hit and all the family is at the house. And while we're talking about helping people get ready for the holiday season, Busy Bee is proud to support the community coat drive happening this month. They're going to be collecting coats in Lebanon that will go directly to Lebanon families in need. Those coats are going to be collected on Tuesday, November 25th from 3 to 6 p.m. at 7 Cedars Butcher Block on the Lebanon Square. And then they're going to be collecting coats in Mount Juliet at the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce. Those coats will stay directly in Mount Juliet. That's on Sunday, November 30th from 2 to 4 at the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce. Also, if you got a go-to Thanksgiving recipe, send it in. You can win $2,000 off a new HVAC system. Runner-up gets $1,000. Winners announced on Facebook Live November 21st. And that main line special, 93 are free. Take advantage of it today. Call Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833, busybeehvac.com.
Epstein files vote, measles cases, and a wildlife photographer shaken up after witnessing a man getting too close to wolves. Imagine that. Details at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
What about the guy that got too close to the wolves?
That's what shook up the photographer.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not worried about the guy that was shaken up by it. I'm worried about the guy that was too close to the wolves.
I'm not. He chose his. He made his bed.
He's going to be okay, right, Ken?
We'll see.
Right, Ken? Headlines on the way. It's 11:26.
Look at the cute little wolves.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. They're always cute until you see the teeth.
Yeah.
So, I don't know why. This headline just it really makes me smile. I'd like to go on the record. Charlotte's Web was a terrible book and a worse movie. I just want to start there.
What about that little pig Wilbur?
Bacon. Here's what...
Betty tasted great.
I bet he was delicious. Here's the thing. It's not a good story. Like, it's a snooze fest. Like, can we all agree? Like, and the mythical, magical messages in the spider webs, like, not realistic. It just never was. But I really like it even less today. And it's not because of the author. It's because of his granddaughter.
Oh.
Sticking her nose in our business. Charlotte, North Carolina, you may know, we talked about this yesterday. They've had a surge of National Guards, or ICE, excuse me, not National Guard, ICE officials. They've been surging the area, and they called it Operation Charlotte's Web. I was like, finally, a version of this I can get behind. Well, now the granddaughter of the author is upset that they're using that as the title of their operation in Charlotte. And she's making it known. Granddaughter of Charlotte's Web author upset with the use of its title in immigration crackdown, the Associated Press reports. The Trump administration is calling its new immigration sweep in North Carolina, the largest city in North Carolina, Charlotte, Operation Charlotte's Web. But the granddaughter of E.B. White, the author of the classic 1952 children's tale, said the wave of immigration arrests go against what her grandfather and his beloved book stood for. I remember. Do you remember that one part in Charlotte's Web where she wrote the message in the web and it said, "No one is illegal"? Do you remember that? No human is illegal. I know. And like now that I'm like remembering, I'm like, oh, this is totally opposite what old E.B. White would have stood for. She said he believed in the rule of law and due process. You mean like the law that says you can't sneak into a country illegally? Oh,
I guarantee he believed in that.
Martha White said in a statement. Oh my gosh, poor Martha's not even married. It's awesome. The picture's becoming more clear. Martha White said in a statement, he certainly didn't believe in masked men, unmarked cars, raiding people's homes and workplaces without IDs or summons. Okay. I'm discarding her opinion, by the way. Operation Charlotte Web will continue until morale improves. You know what the craziest thing is? After border agents have surged to Charlotte, North Carolina, I saw this last night, bananas, 15% of the entire county school missed school yesterday. Huh. Why would that be? Could it be that 15% of the school are illegal aliens? I don't know if that's the case. I just do find it interesting. That would be about 20,935 students missing school. So I did some Googling, and I said, how much does it cost? Right? Let's game plan this out. $14,400 to educate a student in Charlotte, North Carolina. If those 20,935 students that missed school yesterday are illegal aliens, that would come to a total of $301,464,000 per year spent on illegal alien kids in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, while I'm not blaming the kids, I do think that this is a resource issue, and this is one of the biggest problems that we have in this country. We are funding and paying for everything to do with illegal aliens, and that money should be used for American citizens. Put that in a web. It's 11:30. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Understand we are under a slight risk for some possible severe weather today and tonight. House Speaker Mike Johnson says he's going to vote to support that resolution to compel the Justice Department to release all of the Epstein files.
Talked him through this with him and shared our deep concerns. And, of course, they share those concerns as well. And so I'm very confident that when this moves forward in the process, if and when it is processed in the Senate, which there's no certainty that that will be, that they will take the time methodically to do what we have not been allowed to do in the House, to amend this discharge petition and to make sure that these protections are there.
The United States stands on the brink of losing its status as one of 82 countries where measles has been eradicated. Jim Ryan's in Texas, the site of this year's largest outbreak.
It began last January in a West Texas Mennonite community that generally shuns vaccines. By the time that outbreak was declared under control, nearly 800 people had been sickened and at least 2 unvaccinated children had died. Now, for the first time, federal health officials confirm that the West Texas infection spread not only to neighboring New Mexico and Oklahoma, but to Utah and Arizona. If the current transmission isn't controlled by January, the country will no longer be able to say that measles has been wiped out in the U.S. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
A wildlife photographer shaken up after witnessing a man getting too close to wolves in a national park. Here's ABC's Sophie Flay.
Shocking video from Yellowstone National Park shows a man getting dangerously close to a pack of black wolves.
This could end very badly for that guy.
Bystanders watching in horror as the man moves towards them.
He kept approaching, and we're like, oh my word, this is crazy.
The wolves eventually retreat and the man walks away. Previously, the park has seen troubling close encounters with bison, but people getting too close to wildlife is a trend that extends far beyond Yellowstone's borders.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at USS, United Structural Systems. Let me ask you some questions. Are your floors sagging, cracks showing up in the drywall, doors that won't shut right? Those aren't blemishes in the home. Those are red flags. Those are warnings. And if you see that, you could have foundation issues. What's causing the foundation issues? Have you gotten any water in your crawl space lately? If you're getting water in your crawl space, that's a huge issue. It's going to lead to wood rot, which will lead to foundation issues. I'm not saying that's the case. What I am saying, though, is that if you see any of these red flags, you need to call the experts. You need to call United Structural Systems. These guys have been doing the work since 1994, keeping Tennessee homes dry, stable, and secure the way they should be. USS will fix your crawl space with American-made adjustable steel supports built to last, back with a transferable warranty. From I-beams to custom crawl space repairs, they'll fix it right the first time. If you see the red flags when it comes to your home, don't kick the can down the road. Call the best. Call USS. 615-488-7855. 615-488-7855. USSTN.com. 11:37, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to us anywhere. iHeart, tune in the FM dial. You can watch us, Super Talk TV, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit share. Help us grow the digital footprint of the radio station. A couple of housekeeping things. We less than a week away from our More Than a Meal radiothon. The Nashville Rescue Mission is the beneficiary of this. We love doing this with these guys every single year. Myself, Mandis, Benson, Murphy, we're all going to be rolling deep down to the Nashville Rescue Mission on Monday. And we couldn't do it without some of our awesome sponsors. Shout out to Mark Spain, Window Nation, Busy Bee, A&G Truck Beds, Charlie Daniels, Journey Home Foundation. We have the best sponsors. It's the best cause, and we're really looking forward to you guys joining us on Monday for that radiothon. We're gonna raise a boatload of money for an organization that takes not $1 from the federal government. I love what they do. We're huge supporters of the Nashville Rescue Mission. You should be too. Monday is going to be the day to show up. Really excited about that. Also excited about Matt Murphy. I'm always excited about Matt Murphy.
Understandably so.
I just think about Matt Murphy and I get the butterflies. Oh yeah, he's got an interview this afternoon. You remember John Thorpe came in?
Oh yeah,
he's the independent running against Afton Bain and Matt Van Epps, and
he's trying to.
He's getting a lot of money pumped into his campaign from some questionable sources, and Matt's going to ask him about that today.
I am very excited for 4 o'clock today.
Very excited about this interview. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to set an alarm.
Alarm, 3 notifications, text each other.
Hot dog. It's gonna be a barn burner. So be on the lookout for that interview later on today. Right now, though, without further ado, do you know what time it is?
I think I know what time it is.
Well, let him know what time it is.
It's the Lightning Round with Chris Hand.
We do it every day at this time. We talk about all the stories that we didn't have a chance to get to, all the stories that wouldn't fill up a whole segment, and we call it the Lightning Round. First story today in the Lightning Round. It's been 2 weeks. Just 2 weeks since he's been elected, and he's asking money now for the second time. I'm talking about Zohran Mamdani, Mr. Free Stuff. Mr. Free Stuff raised $1 million for his transition.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me, you're not that guy.
And he needs more money to give away more free things.
Surprise, surprise.
It's always somebody else's money, isn't it? Zohran, how much do you need, pal? You ever see the meme where it's like the guy and there's like an older lady in the bed, and she says, "See, that wasn't so bad. Now let's go get you that PS5." You ever see that meme? That's how I feel about Zohran Mamdani when he's asking for money.
It's been 2 weeks since we won the election. We've been pretty busy.
Rejects the Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani.
Too often, this is a time of just celebration as opposed to preparation. We want to make it both. A lot of these things are new, but one of them is pretty old: fundraising. But why are we fundraising?
Because we need money to make the world go round.
Yeah.
Not everything's free. There's no such thing as free lunch. I feel like that's about as much as I can take of Zohran Mamdani. How do you feel?
It's rough.
It's rough. It's rough. All right, got another story for you here in the Lightning Round. Yesterday, Donald Trump was speaking at the McDonald's Impact Summit.
Ooh.
And he said...
Former alum.
Well, it's funny you say that because he made the comment, I'm the first ever fry cook from McDonald's to become president.
And I'm honored to stand before you as the very first former McDonald's fry cook ever to become president of the United States. And I actually was there for about 30 minutes, and that was 30 minutes longer than Kamala was there, right? Despite her job at McDonald's, that didn't work out too well.
You remember that? We were laughing last night, me and the wife. Like that whole McDonald's be the fry cook thing started because Kamala Harris lied about working at McDonald's. It was just such a gem. Such a gem. He also did brag about getting Bobby Kennedy to eat a Big Mac. He said, "I'm the first ever fry cook to become president of the United States, and I'm the only man on planet Earth that could get Bobby Kennedy, to eat a Big Mac."
Ascending to Air Force One, which is quite a nice plane also. We served only McDonald's almost every time. On occasion, we couldn't find one, which is pretty hard to believe. We'd go another route. But we really did. You fed us very well. And I even got Bobby Kennedy to eat a Big Mac. And he told me he loved it.
He told me he loved it. It's the sesame seed buns, it's the pickles, it's the secret sauce.
I love that secret sauce.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think that there's a better burger on the market than the Big Mac. It's perfect. Everything about it. Do you have something to say?
I was racking my brain trying to find something else. I mean,
is there a more iconic burger in the history of America?
In the history of America, probably not. No.
There's not.
It's like if we're looking for like good burgers, but like it's only available on the West Coast for now. Never mind. Yeah. Iconic burgers, Big Mac.
I can't wait for the In-N-Out.
Yeah, I was about to bring up In-N-Out. I was like, double.
I can't wait.
It's gonna be so good.
I mean, you know that's when the wife and I went to the Charlie Kirk Memorial.
Yeah,
that's all we ate.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Was In-N-Out burger.
Understandably so.
It's just awesome. So good.
Yeah, I'm working on losing weight right now.
Dude,
that needs to stay in Murfreesboro.
So you know
it's
the
at least
funny,
a trek for
you know the funny thing is, we have Josh Tifo in here. Every Tuesday. He's coming on Thursday this week. He's got some stuff to do today.
Yeah.
But I was talking with him and his wife. And we were laughing because we told them that we only ate In-N-Out while we were in Arizona. And Josh's wife looked at us. She goes, "We did the same thing. It wasn't just me in Virginia. It was everybody. Everybody was just doing In-N-Out." All right. Enough about that. Got another story for you here in the lightning round. This, I don't know, man. This one checks all the boxes for me, at least, as far as a good story goes. For starters, it's a good story because this criminal was busted. Okay. But it checks all the boxes. Criminal illegal alien, driving an 18-wheeler.
Okay.
Is a terrorist. And was recruiting other terrorists for jihad.
I think he goes.
Does that not check all the boxes?
I think he goes right to jail.
Right to jail.
Right to jail. Right away.
Criminal illegal who was driving an 18-wheeler, another one, in the United States. He was arrested in Kansas.
Another one.
And he's a wanted terrorist in Uzbekistan. He's 31 years old. And authorities in Uzbekistan issued an arrest warrant back in 2022 for being a member of a terrorist organization.
Other than that, solid guy, I'm sure. Other than that, he's doing great.
Just another
He is accused of distributing terrorist propaganda, calling for jihad online, and recruiting terrorists.
So that's who's not only in our country, but driving our trucks.
Right. So with all of the backlash the administration is getting from the press and Democrats about the raids that are happening in our country, can you just spend an ounce of your time on this? The people that were allowed in this country under Joe Biden, there was no vetting being done. People were just crossing the southern border. Even people that couldn't even get through the legal process, they said, you know what, it's easier to just cross the southern border. And so they...
Yeah, he's right. That story's got something for everybody. Secretary Sean Duffy was talking about the fact that these illegal aliens are getting these IDs, and he has a stunning number that he revealed on Fox News or Fox Business, excuse me. But it's not too shocking, especially if you listen to this show. We had Danielle Chaffin in here a few weeks ago. She's a trucking and logistics expert. That video is up on the YouTube page. She broke all of this down in depth. She made the claim that there was 300,000 illegal aliens driving trucks in this country. Sean Duffy went on Fox Business this morning, and he was on Maria Bartiromo, and he said that the number isn't 300 of them. It's not 300,000. It's 200,000. And I thought to myself, like, still pretty damn bad. Let's not kid ourselves.
Secretary, this ICE situation, ICE arresting a man from Uzbekistan earlier this month while he was driving a commercial truck in Kansas. DHS says this 31-year-old Akror Bozorov was led into the country by Joe Biden's administration. He was wanted in Uzbekistan in 2022 for alleged ties to terrorism. He was granted work authorization in the United States in early 2024. His commercial driver's license was issued in Pennsylvania. And the photo that DHS released even shows him having a real ID, Secretary. You've gone after California for issuing 17,000 commercial driver's licenses to illegals. Is it time to federalize CDL certifications? What are you doing here? And I mean, it's just astounding to me that someone who was tied to terrorism in Uzbekistan actually got a license to drive a commercial vehicle in Kansas.
I mean, is that really surprising, though, Maria? With everything we know, everything we've seen, I would wager that the only surprising thing about this story is that he got his commercial driver's license in Pennsylvania and not California, Illinois, or New York, or a state like Virginia. But Secretary Duffy says, no, we're not really shocked. And he sounded the alarm that there's 200,000 other illegal aliens out there driving trucks.
Yeah, so first off, it goes to show you that Joe Biden and his administration didn't do any background checks on who was coming into the country. They offered them asylum and they offered them work authorizations and then allowed them to go out and get commercial driver's licenses and operate on American roads, endangering American citizens. And so we have had new rules that have come out to say, you know what, we're going to tighten this up. If you come legally, you have a visa or you're coming from one state to another, you can get what's called a non-domiciled CDL. These are the licenses that these foreigners are using. But to tighten up the rules means we're going to have more safety on American roads. But you mentioned 17,000 from California. We think other states have also issued many illegally commercial driver's licenses. There were 200,000 non-domiciled CDLs issued to foreigners.
Wow.
We think 194,000 of them were issued illegally.
Oh my goodness.
And would not comply with our new rule. And so again, you've aired these crashes, Maria.
Yeah.
They're horrific. When people can't understand the English language, they can't read signs, and they don't know the rules of our road.
Terrible.
That's a problem. Americans aren't safe. And we also see that there's CDL mills,
Yeah,
commercial driver's license mills, where people aren't being properly trained. They're being pushed through getting licenses, and then again driving across the country.
Unbelievable.
If I can make one last point, Maria.
Yeah.
It's driving American truckers out of business.
Yep.
Good point.
And American trucking companies driving the wages down. That's not why we're taking this action, but that's a real consequence of having all these foreigners come in.
That's a great
point. What we're going to do is see those wages rise, and it's still a good paying job in America to be an American truck driver.
A lot of info dropped from Secretary Duffy right there. Let's go by his numbers. 194,000 illegal alien drivers, CDL license issued. 194,000. That would mean at any given moment in the 48 continental United States, we got 4,041 illegal aliens on the road. In any given state, at any given moment. And I hate to break it to you, but I bet you that number's a lot higher in Tennessee because of how everybody comes through this state, no matter which way you're going. I bet you that's just exorbitantly higher in Tennessee.
Another one.
That's a good drop.
Another one.
That's a new one.
It's a new one. I've been working.
It's a new one. All right, do I have time for one more? I think I got time for one more. I got time for one more story here in the lightning round.
Another one.
Do you remember an off-duty pilot sitting in the cockpit, almost crashing a plane in Alaska because he was high on mushrooms in 2023?
Yeah, rings a bell.
Rings a bell. Well, he just dodged additional jail time. It's just a bad trip, bro. Everything's going to be fine. Former off-duty Alaska Airlines pilot who tried to crash a San Francisco-bound flight by shutting off the engines while on a sleepless bender fueled by psychedelic mushrooms won't serve any additional jail time, a federal judge has ruled. Joseph Emerson was sentenced Monday to time served and 3 years supervised release by U.S. District Court Judge Amy Baggio in Portland, Oregon, dodging a year of prison time sought by federal prosecutors. Pilots are not perfect. They're human, Baggio said. Who among us cast the first stone if you haven't been sitting in a cockpit high on mushrooms and tried to crash the plane, okay? You come at me from your ivory tower, bro. He said, we're human. People make mistakes. And pilots, they're people. And all people need help sometimes. Okay. Wow. Okay. All he did was try to crash a commercial plane because he was high on mushrooms. That's it. Emerson was subdued by the flight crew aboard a Horizon flight from Everett, Washington to San Francisco on October 22nd, 2023. after trying to cut off the engines while riding off duty in the cockpit. He told police that he was grieving his friend and had taken psychedelic mushrooms 2 days earlier, hadn't slept in over 40 hours when he tried to pull the hijinks on the flight with over 80 passengers on board. Emerson recalled believing he was dreaming and tried to wake up by grabbing 2 red handles that could have activated the fire suppression system and cut fuel to the engines. Had he been successful, he would have immediately cut off the flow of fuel to the engines, and it would have been bad. The flight was diverted, landed in Portland after the harrowing ordeal. His attorney, Ethan Levi, described Emerson's actions as a product of untreated alcohol use disorder. The distressed pilot had been drinking and accepted mushrooms because of his lower inhibitions. He spent 46 days in jail and was released pending his trial in December 2023, with the court ordering him to stay sober and away from drugs and alcohol, undergo mental health services, and stay away from the aircraft. So if you're riding in a cockpit, you get high on mushrooms, and you try to crash the plane, 46 days in jail. That's all that's all you have to worry about. Doesn't seem too bad. Doesn't seem too, everybody makes mistakes.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
11:53, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. It's 11:58, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. Mason Fleming's producing. Ken Weaver's in the newsroom. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Chad Benson's in studio. What's up, Chad?
What's up, brother?
How we doing, man?
We're good. I'm on this tiny chair.
I know. You know who's bringing us a new chair?
I heard Bo might be bringing us some stuff.
Bo Diddle, who is he's coming back. He's like these chairs are awful.
They are awful.
He's like, I'm coming back with a better chair for you.
These chairs are. They're just. That chair is about the only chair that's okay.
Oh, it's going to be upgraded bigly.
Yeah, bigly. It's going to be the greatest bigly of all time.
Get ready.
Get ready.
It's going to be awesome. What are you talking about today?
You know what? We'll talk about probably a little bit Epstein stuff. That was interesting watching some of that stuff today. I know MBS is in town.
Yep.
Ronaldo's in town.
And Elon.
Yeah. Ronaldo asked if he could meet Trump.
Yep.
So that's going to be interesting. And who knows what else? We got a bunch of other stuff to talk. Hot Take Tuesday. We got our hot takes and fun stuff. And just, what else? Whatever comes at us, because you never know in this day and age. It's like drinking from a fire hose.
Anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
I mean, we're still going to get the vote on the Epstein files later on.
Later on, yeah. We may bomb Mexico.
Oh, sign me up.
So, bomb Mexico.
Sign me up. Few things that I support more.
Shine bomb. I mean, she's not thrilled by it.
It's good. She's not going to be thrilled about anything.
No, probably not.
The best part is we don't have to ask her permission to do it.
So we're going to invade Mexico now.
Nobody said anything about invading. We were talking about bombing. We got their addresses. We know what the front door looks like.
We've got their addresses.
We got their addresses.
They're like 60 feet over that direction.
We know what the front door looks like. We know how old your shingles are. It's a very disgusting shingles. Yeah.
I don't know if you're aware of this. Probably not so many shingles over there.
Well, there won't be after we're done. That's for sure.
It's going to be interesting. You blow it up. What's it look like? Kind of like it did before.
It actually, we can't.
Certain areas.
Corporate wants to know the difference between these two pictures. It looks like the same picture. Chad's in next, 12 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.